Hi, everyone. Good morning. Well, good afternoon. My name is Lacey Jane. This is Criminally Confident, and we are back. We are back to court. Yesterday we had a day off. I had a appointment yesterday morning, and I knew that I wasn't going to be able to coherently do the show. So we are going to zoom through everything that happened on day 3. And I just saw that there is a little bit going on in the courtroom right now. So we'll also be able to zoom through day 4 so that when we get to Monday, we're back on track and able to live stream. If you haven't done so already, please make sure to double tap your screen if you are watching on your phone. If you are on your computer, just give this a like. And wherever you are watching, Kick, YouTube, wherever, please make sure that you are subscribed, you are following me, and you have those notifications turned on so you don't miss a beat when I go live. We need to address the elephant in the room first and foremost before we get to the chat and say hello. Please make sure to take care of yourself listening to this. This is not easy. This is, I have no problem saying this. This is the most difficult trial I have decided to cover thus far. And it's easy to see how this could really take a strain on someone's mental health if they are not prepared for what they are listening to. So if you need to walk away, I totally understand. I don't judge. Everyone needs to do what's best for them. So, with that being said, if you are interested, I mentioned this the other day. If you are interested in supporting the channel, I would ask that you consider becoming a member. It's $7 a month, and you receive access to your own emojis. You get access to members only live streams. You get access to a whole bunch of, you get your comments on the screen. That's like the biggest part of it, in my opinion. If not, I understand. But just so you know, those membership fees and those gifted memberships, they are going directly into my ability to travel for the next couple trials that we are going to be covering. I officially received my first press pass, and I will be covering all of the hearings in the entirety of the trial for the Ohio v. Michael McKee trial. He is accused of unaliving. Don't yell at me. It's YouTube. YouTube doesn't like real words. Unaliving his ex-wife and her husband in their home here in Columbus, Ohio, back on December 30th, 2025. This already has gotten national attention. This is going to be major. It's also going to be costly. I do live in Columbus, but I'm going to have to drive to court to and from every day, and parking and so on and so forth. So I'm just trying to prepare for that. And then I will be covering the House of Horrors trial as long as it goes to trial. We don't know yet. That's in Vinton County, and that's about 75 to 90 minutes away from where I live. So that's another thing. And then finally, the American Idol trial. There's a lot going on. So your support means everything. You're not going to hear me talk about it during this stream. I want to make sure that we are focusing on the matter at hand, which is these poor babies whose mother was failed by the American healthcare system. So, with that being said, thank you so much for being here. Um, Thank you for showing your support. If another thing, if you want to show support and you can't afford $7 a month, um, I ask kindly, whether you're watching now or on replay, that you hype this video. That also helps. Okay, let's see who's here. Hello, Troll Steve. Good morning. Good afternoon. Hi, Kevin. How are you? Kevin from Boston. Hi, KK. Hi, Grandma. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay. If you are watching and you haven't said hello in the chat, what are you doing? What are you doing? We don't bite. This is quite frankly the best chat I've seen. I've been watching the other channels who are covering this. Holy crap, guys. You guys are just incredible, and I don't know why I'm surprised, but this chat has officially become a community, and I've seen people share some of the most vulnerable moments and and not only moments, but personal experiences. You know, people that have said that they took all these medications and what happened when they took them, um, whether they were good experiences, whether they were bad. Um, and we've also had people that come in here and they're like, I think this is crap. I think that she should go to jail. And we're able to talk and not yell and not disparage one another. This has been very respectful. I encourage differences of opinion. I don't want this to be an echo chamber ever, 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 ever. So, thank you for being here, regardless of what your opinions are on the matter. I've made mine pretty clear. I've actually professionally lobbied against what happened to Lindsay um, in the try-fail system, which is essentially, for those of you that don't know, this means doctors are required by insurance to start um, at certain medications before doctors are legally allowed to provide their patients with the medication they genuinely believe would be best for them. If that doesn't sound absolutely crazy, I have to monitor my bad words. I don't know what to tell you. In my case, it was for the Arthritis Foundation, because I see people that have to go 6 to 18 months trying medications their doctors know will not work because the insurance company is requiring them to try something less expensive. So, with that being said, um, let's go ahead and get this started. Good morning, Miss Sydney. If you see Sydney, she is a member. That is why her name is in green, and that is why she's up on the stage. Oh, Dahlia, it's so good to see you, my love. Shout out to Predator Poachers. I'm not gonna, I don't wanna let the cat out of the bag, but I knew that something had happened with the stream, or with the chase, and I hate that for Alex. For those of you who don't know, we're about to get there, but I am a part of a community that is very active in getting PDFs off the street. I can't say the real word because YouTube has feelings. Um, and this group went to Hawaii yesterday or 2 days ago to catch someone who had actually unalived a child, a 4-year-old, and essayed them. And this person had just gotten off of parole and was already talking to underage kids again. And the team went out to Hawaii to catch him. And to make a long story short, by a crazy twist of events, the cops got to him the day before. And I know they were in Alaska the day before, so they had to fly that 6-hour flight, and it's a team, it's not just one person. They had to pay for that airfare and the lodging in what is a 100% tourist state. The prices are ridiculous. I feel so bad. They said that they're working on some other catches while they're there. A lot of people flee to Alaska and Hawaii from the continental United States because for some reason they think that that's a better place to not get caught, and they're gravely incorrect about that. But shout out to PP, so feel so bad. Okay. Aloha. Good morning, Angela. Hello. Oh my goodness. Hi, Magic. Okay, let's go ahead and get this stream started. This is yesterday, and it is at 1.25 speed. And like I said, we're going to be able to zoom through all of the breaks. So shouldn't be long at all. And then we can jump into today. All right. Thanks, guys.
Hey, all persons having anything to do before the Honorable William Sullivan, Justice of the Superior Court, now sitting in Plymouth, within and before the Commonwealth. Draw near, give your attendance, and you shall be heard. God save the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. This court is now in session. Please be seated.
Good morning, Your Honor. Your Honor, before the court today, we have the continuation of the jury trial in the matter Commonwealth versus Lindsay Clancy. Ms. Clancy is present. She is represented by Attorney Kevin Reddington. The Commonwealth is represented by Assistant District Attorney Jennifer Sprague and Assistant District Attorney Shannon Buckingham.
All right. Well, good morning, everyone. I hope everybody had a nice, restful evening last night. Thank you for your patience with us. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you those questions, make sure everybody was able to follow my instructions. Then I go over briefly our schedule for today and the schedule for tomorrow. All right. So first, let me get to those questions. The first question is, any member of the jury read, seen, or heard anything from any source that would affect your ability to be fair and impartial in this case? No. All right. Next question, is there any other serious matter of concern bearing on your service as a juror in this case that anybody needs to bring my attention at this time? No. All right, good. Thank you for following those instructions. Now, in regards to our schedule today, it's anticipated, as you know, in these cases, sometimes the best laid plans, but it's anticipated that we'll go this morning to about 11 o'clock. We'll take a break at 11. We'll come back. We'll take our afternoon break at 1 o'clock, and we'll go into the afternoon, probably somewhere between 3 and 4. All right, so that's today's schedule. Tomorrow's schedule, as best we can tell, we're going to do that view sometime probably in the morning. We're going to go to a couple of spots that have been mentioned in the testimony. Like I said, we'll go over a little bit more tomorrow, but you'll be getting out of it. We'll all going together in a bus with the court officers, the staff, the attorneys, myself, and we're going to get out of the bus. So, that's just a word for the wise for footwear and to double check the weather. I'll go into that a little bit more probably by the end of the day, but just in case I forget, that's what we're going to do. And then the thought would be after that, we'll come back. We'll probably go again until sometime around in between 3 and 4. Okay, so that's the schedule. And then at the end of the day tomorrow, I'll address kind of where we are in regards to the timeline and this kind of overall schedule, just so you have some kind of idea where we are. All right, so with that, we're going to return to the case on trial. Commonwealth is presenting its evidence. Attorney Sprague.
Thank you, Your Honor. Commonwealth calls Officer Stephen Hall.
For those of you who don't know, I believe all of the witnesses, if not all, the majority of witnesses were EMTs that arrived that evening. Yeah, the chat is on the vertical screen. So, welcome.
Good morning. To find swear that the testimony in the evidence should be and that I'm telling you Commonwealth and the
Thank you. All right, good morning. Morning. All right, so I'm going to ask, keep your voice up so the jury can hear you.
Yes.
And with that, Attorney Sprague.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning. Could you please state and spell your name for the record
My name is Stephen Hall, Stephenhall,
and your date of birth?
3/26/1983.
Where do you work?
I work at the Duxbury Police Department
How long have you been a Duxbury police officer?
since 2015, so roughly 11 years.
I want to direct your attention to January 24th, 2023. Were you working that day?
I was.
And by the way, you are hearing his voice. He is like on the edge of breaking down during this entire testimony. This poor guy.
What shift were you working?
The 4 to midnight.
And would that be 4 p.m. to midnight?
Yes.
And were you in uniform?
Yes.
Were you in a marked cruiser?
Yes.
And were you on patrol?
Yes.
And being on patrol, were you alone or with a partner?
I was alone.
Further directing your attention to approximately 6:11 p.m. At that time, did you receive a dispatch to go to 47 Summer Street in Duxbury?
I did.
And do you recall approximately where you were when you received that dispatch?
I was at the Lincoln Street Fields in Duxbury.
And so how long did it take you to get from there to 47 Summer Street?
7 to 10 minutes.
And did you go to 47 Summer Street?
Yes.
And what did you see when you arrived there?
When I arrived, it was just a house. There was a gate open on the left side of the house.
I'll show you a few exhibits that have already been marked. Exhibit 32. And exhibit 33. Is this the house you responded to?
Yes.
I'm showing you exhibit 34. Is that the left side of the house?
It is.
And exhibit 35 is the gate that you went in depicted in this exhibit.
It is.
This poor guy.
First officer on scene,
I arrived simultaneously with Officer Josephine.
and is he also an officer with Duxbury Police?
Yes.
And so did you both head to that same direction, or did you go in different directions?
We both went to the backyard as we were dispatched to.
And you said you went to the left, correct?
Yes. We heard a male voice calling for us on the left side. So
And that's where you had.
I'm going to turn down the resolution just because my internet's fine. So I don't know if this was a them problem, but I don't want it to be choppy for you guys. So I appreciate your patience.
Headed.
yes.
And did you encounter a male in the backyard?
Yes.
And did you later learn his name was Patrick Clancy?
I did.
Oh,
What was his
thank
demeanor?
He was upset. Didn't know what was going on. So
And did you see anyone else in the backyard?
no.
Did you see anyone on the ground?
Yes.
And who was on the ground?
Miss Clancy.
Is that Lindsay Clancy?
Yes.
And do you see her in the courtroom today?
I do.
Could you point to her?
No issue with ID. Your record may reflect. The witness has identified the defendant.
Thank you. Where was she positioned?
She was on the ground if you were looking at the backyard on the right side.
Showing you what's been previously marked as exhibit 38. Is this the back of the house?
It is.
And showing you what's been marked as exhibit 37. Do you see the area where the defendant was when you entered the backyard?
Yes.
Mind standing up with court permission and just pointing that out to the jurors?
So in this area.
And if the record could reflect, he's pointing near the window well to the far right side of the back of the house.
Record may reflect that.
When you saw her in that location, do you remember where her head was?
Her head was towards the house,
And where were her feet?
pointing out away from the house.
Are you trained in first aid as part of your job?
Yes.
And do you carry equipment with you in case you have to provide first aid to someone?
Yes.
When you saw the defendant on the ground, did you go to her and observe any injuries?
She had cuts to both wrists and to the left side of her neck.
The cuts to her wrists, were those actively bleeding when you saw them?
No, they were not.
When you saw the cuts to her neck, were those actively bleeding?
No.
Did you, based on your training and experience, feel the need to provide any medical care to those cuts or use any of the equipment you had to tend to those cuts?
Not at that time.
Was she conscious?
Semi-conscious, in and out of consciousness.
And what was she doing that gave you that indication?
She would wake up and move around and then kind of just go still again.
And when you say she would move around, what parts of her body was she moving?
Just her head, really.
Was she able to speak to you?
She wasn't, no.
Yes.
Was she making any sounds?
She was just like, sounded like, she was in pain.
So something like moaning or something like that?
Yes.
I'm trying to.
While you and Officer Josephine are there, do other first responders, such as firefighters, start to arrive?
Yes, they started to arrive, and I went to the gate to direct them where to go.
And how did you know they had arrived?
You could hear the sirens.
So you heard the sirens and went to the gate to tell them to come to that side?
Correct.
While you were doing this, did Patrick Clancy stay with you?
At one point, he went inside to say he was going to check on his children.
And did you see what entrance he used to go into the house?
He went towards the backslider.
Shortly after Patrick Clancy went inside the home, did you receive a call on your radio?
Yes.
And what did you hear on your radio?
Dispatch said that he couldn't wake them up.
And did you know what they were talking about when you initially heard that?
Not really, no.
Did something then catch your attention?
Yeah, I heard a loud scream from inside.
Heavy breather is the guy on the stand.
And could you tell where it was coming from?
Just inside the house.
And the screaming, was it words or just sound?
It was just a sound.
When you heard that screaming, what did you do?
Myself and Officer Josephine ran towards the slider and entered into the house.
And when you entered into the house, do you remember what room you entered into?
Into a kitchen.
And when you entered into the kitchen, could you still hear that screaming?
No. We could hear he was talking, but the screaming was done.
When you said he was talking, who was talking?
Patrick Clancy.
So you could hear Patrick Clancy talking at that time?
Yes.
And could you tell where he was?
Yes, he was in the basement.
And did you head to the basement stairs?
Yes.
Showing you what's been marked as Exhibit 41. Are these the stairs that you went to?
Yes.
Did you go to the bottom of the stairs?
I did.
Once you got to the bottom of the stairs, is it accurate that you either have to go right or left?
Correct.
Which direction did you go?
We heard Patrick Clancy talking from the right, so we went in that direction.
Could you hear what he was saying?
Do you mind if I?
You don't recall?
Yes.
I have no objection, Your Honor. We need to revote on that with this report.
Do you recall him saying, I can't wake them up, I can't get them up?
Yes.
And do you remember his demeanor as he was saying that?
He seemed very upset.
What did you do in response to that?
He came from a back room, so we ran into that back room.
Just going back to when you came down the stairs and turned to the right.
The people in the courtroom who were reporting on this yesterday said, like, this guy he really struggled the entire time. Like, he was choking back tears the entire time.
Do you recall what type of room that was when you went to the right?
It looks like a workout room, like a workout area.
I'm going to show you your pictures here. If you could just look at them and tell me if you recognize what they depict.
Yes.
And do you recognize these to be photographs of that workout room that you entered into when you went to the right?
Yes.
We could have these marked as the next few
No
exhibits
objection.
Those may be admitted.
or exhibits. Exhibits 89 to 92. Sir, showing you exhibit 89. Is that the view when you first come down the stairs and turn to the right?
Yes.
And then showing you exhibit 90. Are those exercise bands there tied to the closet door?
Yes.
91, just a close-up of that, correct?
Yes.
Then 92, what are we seeing in this photograph, sir?
That was the back room that he seemed to be coming from.
That Patrick was coming from?
Yes.
You also looked at two photographs from that room. Are those fair and accurate depictions of how the room looked that day?
Yes.
We could have these marked as the next two exhibits, please.
Okay.
All right, they may be admitted.
Sir, did you head to that back room?
I did.
And what did you see when you got to that back room?
Just past the door on the left side, there was a body of a young child.
And do you remember what position the child was in?
He had his feet towards the door and his head towards the wall.
And was he on his back or his stomach? Or?
He was on his back.
And do you recall what he was wearing?
He was shirtless. I believe he was just in a diaper or underwear of some sort.
And showing you
Thank you.
Exhibit 93, if you wouldn't mind just pointing out where you saw his body.
Just in this area.
Record reflects he's pointed to the area of the yellow exercise band.
It may reflect that.
And sir, that yellow exercise band, did you see that in that position when you saw the body of the child on the floor?
Yes.
Exhibit 94. Let's look at that position. Sir, did you later learn that child's name was Dawson Clancy?
I did.
And can you describe his physical appearance when you saw him?
He was discolored, like a bluish purple.
Do you remember what his face and neck looked like?
No.
What happened next?
I called for paramedics to come to the basement. I also called for a supervisor, and Officer Josephine picked up the child, and we ran him outside through the front door to the ambulance.
And did you do anything after that, after giving Dawson to EMTs?
We ran back down into the basement to check to see if we could find other children.
And what made you think there were other children to find?
When Patrick Clancy said, well, I can't wake them up instead of just a singular.
And so when you went back inside, did you go back down the basement stairs?
Correct.
And this time, did you go to the left?
Yes.
Here, I'll even mute myself.
So showing you a series of photographs. You could just tell me if they clearly and accurately reflect how the left side of the basement looked on January 24th, 2023 when you went in there.
Right, just for the record, they don't need to lay a foundation. I agree to the photographs, no objection to any of them, so we don't have to go through all the
All right,
foundations.
all right.
Yes.
Could I mark this in next exhibit, please?
I will say, Flower, that the person who was recording the other day, he broke down and he had to mute their mic a few times. But this guy, everyone in the courtroom saw this guy and heard him. And that's why I can confidently say it was the guy on the
Exhibit
stand.
95,
Thank you.
Sure. So showing you what's been marked as Exhibit 95. Is this what you saw when you went down the stairs and went to the left, that first view?
Yes.
And then showing you Exhibit 96. Is that a further view as you go into the room?
Yes.
Now, when you went into that room, what did you see?
There were two children on the floor, motionless, and EMTs and paramedics were working on them.
And did you later learn that those children were Cora Clancy and Callan Clancy?
Yes.
Did you do anything to assist the medics at that time?
Excuse me. I asked if they needed any equipment.
And did they ask you to get some equipment?
They asked me to grab a heart monitor.
And did you do that?
I went and found the fire captain to ask where I could grab one. And he was pretty upset. So I ended up going back downstairs into the basement.
At some point in time, actually, if I could show you Exhibit 96 again and just ask if you could just point to us where you saw each child.
Okay.
Here.
So for the record, the first area you pointed to was in between the blood stain and the black exercise band. Is that correct?
Correct.
And then the second area was in front of that small nightstand or some type of shelving unit.
Yes.
At some point in time, did you go back outside?
Yes, they stated they need an officer with Lindsay Clancy.
And I'm going to show you photo here outside near that window well that's towards the right of the house. Is that where Lindsay Clancy was, where that medical debris is?
Yes.
And just showing you another photograph. Is that just showing further to the right in a broader area of that same scene?
Yes.
I could have the close-up mark as the next exhibit and the broader photo as the
All
following.
right, they may be admitted.
She's pretty
103 and
full.
104.
I think she's on a lot of meds.
While you were out there with the defendant, were the staff, paramedics treating her?
Yes.
And did you happen to look up?
Yes, I did.
What did you see when you looked up?
There was an open window with blood marks around the window.
And did you also see blood marks on the shingles below that window?
I did.
Showing you a photograph here. So up at the top, is this the open window you're referring to?
Yes.
Zooming in on the shingles here to the left and right, just below that window, are those the blood marks you're referring to?
Yes.
And here in this photograph, you had mentioned blood marks on the upper window. Is that what you're referring to?
Yes.
And then
blood
here at
was
the top
from-
of the lower window.
The blood was from her. She did that to her children, and then she tried to take her own life by jumping out of a window after causing harm to herself, and she is now paralyzed.
These marks here, are those the other blood marks that you saw?
Yes.
If we could have these photos marked as the next exhibits.
All right, they may be admitted.
While you were out there in the backyard, did you see a ripped or, oh, I'm sorry. 105 through 108. While you were outside, did you see any ripped or torn screens on the ground?
No.
What did you do next?
I just went over to the paramedic and asked what I can help him with. He said she was good, but she kept taking her face mask off for oxygen. And so I just kept replacing it back to her face.
And when you say she, you're referring to Lindsay Clancy?
Yes.
And did you then help them get the stretcher to the ambulance?
Yes.
I have nothing further.
All right.
I agree,
Rankin?
Kevin.
Thank you for your incredible service.
I really like her lawyer.
All right, so you may step down. Thank you. Thank you.
Louise, she had taken.
All right, Attorney Sprague?
Commonwealth calls Officer Brian Josephine.
Difficult to say this without getting my stream dinged. Kaylee, are you able to write it in the chat so that I don't have to say it out loud? Her husband did divorce her, but he has been her biggest supporter because he saw what she was going through and how many times she tried to get help. They got a divorce. He is remarried and they already have a baby. Thanks, babe. I appreciate you. Hey guys, I saw that we only have like 10 likes. Can you guys double tap your screen, please? That gives me a like. Thank you.
Good morning. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony of the evidence you shall give to the court Thank you, sir. You may be seated.
All right, good morning, sir. All right, counsel?
Thank you.
Yes, lecture.
Good morning. Could you please state and spell your name for the record?
Brian, B-R-I-A-N, Josephine, J-O-S-E-P-H-I-N-E.
And what's your date of birth, sir?
June 13th, 1990.
And where do you work?
I work at the Duxbury Police Department.
How long have you been a police officer?
I started there in April of 2020.
And did you work for the Plymouth Police before that?
Yes, I did.
And how long did you do that?
Almost 5 years.
What is your current role?
I am patrol officer.
Back in January of 2023, what was your role with the Duxbury Police Department?
I was the school resource officer for Alden and Chandler. I work with kids kindergarten through 5th grade.
Directing your attention specifically to January 24th, 2023, were you working an overtime shift that day?
Yes, I had picked up an overtime shift.
And what shift was that?
It was 4 to midnight, but I was scheduled to work till 8 p.m.
8 p.m.?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you were scheduled to be there from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., is that correct?
That is correct.
And you were in a cruiser, in a marked cruiser in a uniform?
Yes, I was fully dressed in Duxbury police uniform. I was in a marked cruiser, Duxbury Police 172.
And did you receive a dispatch at approximately 6:11 p.m. to go to 47 Summer Street in Duxbury?
Yes, we did.
And when you say we, were you with a partner or were you alone?
No, I was by myself. We ride single in a cruiser there.
Okay. So when you say we, do you mean that it was dispatched to all officers on patrol?
So usually with critical incidents calls, they put it over to dispatch and they'll say, Duxbury police cars, start making your way to a certain address. That way everyone can get there as quickly as possible.
Okay. And so then you knew at that point to go to 47 Summer Street?
Yes, ma'am.
And approximately how long did it take you to get there?
I would say anywhere from 3 to 4 minutes.
So you were relatively close by when you received the dispatch?
Yes, I was.
Okay. And when you arrived at 47 Summer Street, what did you observe?
Dispatch was giving me a description of the house. It took probably 15 seconds for me to identify the house. Parked in the street. I saw the number of the house and I made my way. I believe it was a mudroom that I went to.
Showing you Exhibit 33. When you say the mudroom that you went to, did you actually go inside the house or did you go to the door to the mudroom?
I went to the door to the mudroom to check if that was unlocked so I could make my way to the back of the house.
And is that door depicted in this photograph?
Yes, it is.
And is it the door to the left of the garage?
Yes, it is.
And was the door locked or unlocked?
It was locked at that time.
So what did you do next?
I radioed dispatch just for confirmation of where that party we were trying to get to was located. They told me it was around back of the house, so I tried to make my way that way.
And when you went to the back of the house, how did you get there?
Well, referring back to the picture where the car was parked, I went to the right side and I went around the garage. There was a fence and I went over the fence, I believe.
So showing you Exhibit 33, again, you went by these cars and around the house to the right.
Yes, that's correct.
Hi, Edward. Thank you.
And showing you Exhibit 37. Does that mean that you would have been coming around the house over here by the garage on the left and the porch, the deck?
Yes, that's correct.
And when you came around there, what did you see?
I made my way. I observed 2 parties, one lying in the ground and one standing over it. And I started making my way towards the other end of the house, which is towards this fence, as you guys can see in reference to that photo.
And so when you say the other end of the house, are you talking about this area here, the father's furthest right 2 windows?
Yes, that is correct.
And the person that was standing, did you later learn that was Patrick Clancy?
Yes, I did.
And the person on the ground, did you later learn that was Lindsay Clancy?
Yes, I did.
And at some point in time, was Officer Hall also back there with you?
Yes, he came from this side over here, the opposite direction in which I came.
So facing the house, he would have come around the left side of the house if you're facing the house?
Yes, he parked on the street and came from this side, the opposite of where I came from.
Okay. And do you recall what Patrick Clancy was doing when you first saw him?
He was standing over Lindsay at that point. It appeared that he was trying to communicate with her. I observed him with a cell phone. It was kind of down by his side, so I don't know if they were talking or what, but it was probably a split second. And then he turned in my location, saw me because I was illuminating the yard with my flashlight. And then that's when me and him crossed paths.
Okay. And so you said you saw him with his cell phone by his side. Was it in his hand by his side?
Yes, I believe it was in his left hand.
Okay. Okay. And you say you crossed paths with him. Approximately where did you cross paths with him?
It was probably right by the bulkhead, I would say.
And so in the photograph to the right of the deck is the bulkhead, is that correct?
That is correct.
And where was he headed?
He was heading, I believe, up towards the deck. Yeah, obviously I didn't know it at that time, but he was just walking past me pretty fast in an abrupt manner. So.
And did he say anything to you as he passed?
No, he did not.
And after you crossed paths with Patrick, where did you go?
I went to the female party.
And did you speak to her?
I attempted to.
And what did you say?
I just was trying to get basic information, where she was hurt, where she needed attention, anything I could do to kind of help her until fire arrived.
And did she respond to your questions?
She mumbled, and it wasn't a definitive answer.
Did you observe any injuries?
Yes, she was laying on the ground. There was cuts to her right wrist, I believe, and to the right side of her neck.
And were those cuts actively bleeding at that time?
They were bleeding, but not profusely.
Did you, are you trained in first aid?
Yes.
Did you feel the need to put pressure on those wounds immediately?
No. We also carry medical equipment such as tourniquet, gauze, stuff like that. And I believe due to the circumstances that I didn't need to utilize those tools.
And the tourniquet that you carry, is that in case someone has some type of cut where an artery has been damaged or cut?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And you're trained to recognize when it's something serious like an artery spraying blood everywhere versus a cut that doesn't need a tourniquet?
Yes, we are.
Okay. And you didn't see the need for a tourniquet?
I did not know.
And based on your training in first aid and as a police officer, as a first responder, did those wounds appear life-threatening?
No, they did not.
Did other emergency personnel from the fire department begin to arrive?
Yes, so I would say I tried to talk to Ms. Clancy for probably 30 seconds to a minute. And at that point, coming from that opposite side of the house, I observed Duxbury fire personnel show up. And my protocol is to kind of turn the medical over to them because they're more highly trained than we are.
Okay. And at some point in time, do you hear something?
Yes.
What do you hear?
Myself and Officer Hall were standing by that window, and we just started hearing loud screams.
And what did you do when you heard those loud screams?
We immediately were trying to figure out where they were coming from. I'm not sure if dispatch or something came over the air and said something about the basement, but we both just started making our way back towards the deck part of the house.
Did you go in through the sliding glass doors?
Yes, we went up the deck and through the sliding glass doors into the kitchen.
And did you then head to the basement?
Yes.
Okay. And could you hear any sounds coming from the basement as you entered the kitchen?
Yes, it was the exact screaming that I heard from the window.
And did you go down the stairs to the basement?
Yes, we did.
And did you see anything as you went down the stair after you went down the stairs?
So we went down the stairs, and there was a picture at the bottom of the stairs, I believe, of Lindsay and Patrick. And the basement splits off into two, a right and a left area. And the screams were coming from the right area. So that's where we directed our attention to first.
Okay. And did you see Patrick?
Yes. That right side opens up, and it's like two rooms, I believe. So we went into the first room, which was kind of dark, and there was some cluttered stuff around, and Patrick was in that back room at the time.
Hey guys, please make sure to double
marked as
your
exhibit
screen. Thank you.
92. Is that the doorway into that back room?
Yes, it is.
And then exhibit 93, is that the inside of that back room?
Yes, it is.
And do you recall what, if anything, Patrick was saying as you encountered him?
Upon his observation of us, myself and Officer Hall, he proceeded to head in our direction, leaving that room. And at that point, he looked up and he screamed, "She killed the fucking kids."
And after he said that, where did you go?
Once he cleared himself from the door frame, we were able to look inside the room where we observed what appeared to be a child laying motionless on the floor.
And did you later learn his name was Dawson Clancy?
Yes, I did.
And how was he positioned?
He was laying on his back, kind of close to the gym bag for reference of that.
Showing you exhibit 93 again, reference to gym bag, is that the bag to the left of the child's toy?
Yes.
And so you're saying that he was in that area when you first saw him?
Yes, he was.
And do you recall whether he was on his back or stomach or something else?
He was on his back.
And do you recall his physical appearance?
Like I said, he was laying on his back. His head was tilted to the right-hand side. Looked at him kind of in the face area once we got closer, and his face was white, gray, lips were blue, eyes were bloodshot, looked like blood vessels were popped in his eyes.
Did you notice any injuries to his neck?
Seeing that, my first instinct was to kind of grab his head and tilt it to the side, see if I can get a pulse. But I mean, based on my training experience from previous incidents, I knew it wasn't going to be good. So I moved the head. That's where I observed some red marks on that right-hand side.
Of the neck?
Yes.
And in that exhibit, 94, there was a yellow exercise band, correct?
Yes.
I believe in prior testimony, you may have called it a blue exercise band. Is that correct?
Yes.
But it's clearly yellow in the photo, right?
Yes, it's clearly yellow. I mean, there was
That's the color of the exercise band.
Right, good.
So what was your focus at the time?
the child.
And Once you saw him there with these injuries, what did you do?
Based on my observations, I knew there wasn't really much I could do. So I picked the child up, went chest to chest, and as I did that, it was kind of like a mucus or a foam that leaked out of his mouth onto me. I grabbed him, went back towards the way we came down into the basement, and I headed up to the stairs where Sergeant Homestead was coming down the stairs, and I started yelling to him to get out of the way. Went back up the stairs, and then into the kitchen directly adjacent to the stairs. There's the front foyer, like hallway, and I went out the main door into the driveway.
And was there an ambulance in the driveway at that time?
Yes, the ambulance was backing up and had pretty much just parked, and one of the fire was walking around to the stretcher out back. So I rushed over with Dawson and I put him on the stretcher, and that's when Sergeant Homestead and fire personnel started working further on him.
What did you do next?
I went back into the house.
And why did you go back into the house?
I remember hearing something about kids and multiple, and I just went back.
And when you went back in the house, did you go to the basement?
Yes, I went back in that front door, back down to the basement, and this time I went to the left-hand side.
And when you went to the left-hand side of the basement, what did you see?
Pretty much directly in my sight was an older female laying on the ground, and then in the corner, there was like a younger baby.
And when you say an older female, you're referring to that she was older than Dawson?
That's correct.
And did you later learn her name was Cora Clancy?
I did.
And did you assist in treating her?
Yes, I did.
What did you do?
So when I got down to the basement, 2 fire personnel were already on scene. One was working on the baby and one was working on Cora. Communicated with them. We worked together, and I took over doing chest compressions of Cora.
And were you able to see any injuries on Cora at that time?
Yes. She had kind of the same injuries that I explained with Dawson. The pale tint, bluish lips, bloodshot eyes, blood vessels popped. But this time she also had like dried blood around her mouth.
And did you also see an area of blood near her on the floor?
Yes, there was a relatively large area of blood on the floor. Actually, we went doing CPR on her. And that pool seeped through my pants, so I ended up moving her a little off to the side so I could position myself better.
Just showing you what's been marked as Exhibit 97, this red brown stain on the rug. Is that what you're referring to?
Yes.
While you were doing chest compressions on Cora, what was the firefighter doing?
The one that had previously been attending to Cora then went to the child that was in the corner.
And eventually, was Cora put on a stretcher and brought out?
Yes, eventually. I think the baby was brought out first because I think they mentioned at some point they might have found like a faint pulse or something like that. So they got him out first, and then we were able to get Cora out.
So that entire time while you're in the basement, are you still giving chest compressions to Cora?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it felt like forever, to the point where I think I radioed for assistance for another officer to come down.
And did others come down to assist?
Yes, Officer Cahill came down to further assist, where I continued with chest compressions, and he used a bag valve mask to give rescue breaths.
And a bag valve mask, is that something that goes over someone's face, a mask that's attached to a bag and you squeeze it to give air?
Yes, it's an alternative breathing apparatus.
At some point, do you go back upstairs to the first floor?
Yes.
And do you encounter Patrick Clancy when you go upstairs?
Yes, when they removed Cora, myself and Officer Cahill went back upstairs, where I encountered Mr. Clancy in the kitchen.
And what was his demeanor in the kitchen?
He was still frantic, kind of in shock, still screaming and losing himself. And I think at that point, I don't know, one of us requested that we get an ambulance for him as well.
Thank you, sir. Nothing further.
Attorney Reddington?
I'm sorry, I have no questions.
All right. Thank you, Chief. Lisa. Thank you.
Someone calls PJ.
Your Honor, at this point, I'm objecting, renewing my objection that I filed on the repetitious nature.
If I could see it, Sarah.
Oh, okay. I didn't catch the name that he was asking, or pardon me, that the state wants to add as a witness. Just so you know, judge has said that they are ahead of schedule, so that's a positive. Second thing if you haven't done so already and you are on your phone on YouTube, please double tap your screen. It gives this a like and it helps push this out so that the people who need to see it will see it. This has been a very you guys have proven to yourselves that this is a great community, and I think you're finding strength from one another in terms of the topics surrounding mental health, and I appreciate each and every one of you that are here with me today and all the time. All right. Was able to zoom. Pardon me.
Good morning. You solemnly swear that the testimony you give you shall give to the court and the jury the matter not coming from the Commonwealth will shall be the truth, the whole truth.
Troll speak said not to be a troll.
All right, good morning, sir.
Thank you, Louise.
If I may.
Yes, please.
Thank you. Good morning. Could you please state and spell your name for the record?
PJ Hussey, Hussey,
And your date of birth?
5/5/1963.
Where do you work?
Duxbury Fire Department,
And how long have you been a firefighter?
32 years.
Are you also a paramedic?
Yes.
What's the difference between an EMT and a paramedic?
Paramedic has advanced life-saving skills, intubation, and medicine we can use on the patients.
And is there a certain type of training that you have to have as a paramedic?
Yes, every 2 years.
And to first qualify as a paramedic, what do you have to do?
There's a paramedic class that you take, upwards of 2 years.
So you take that paramedic class. Is there a test you have to take at the end?
A state test, yep.
And once you pass that state test and become a paramedic, you have to do continuing education. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay. And did you take that initial training, pass that initial test, and then pass all subsequent training to be a paramedic?
Yes.
And how long have you been a paramedic?
About 17 years.
What is your current role with the Duxbury Fire Department?
I'm a captain, which is considered a shift commander.
And in January of 2023, were you in that same role?
Yes.
What does a shift commander do?
Oversees the operations of the town as far as firefighting and medical services.
How many fire departments, or stations rather, how many stations does Duxbury Fire Department have?
Duxbury has 2.
Okay. And how far apart are they?
About 10 minutes apart.
And are they staffed differently from
Yes.
each other?
Yeah.
And how are they staffed?
At the central station, there's a captain and usually 3, and the other station, there's 2, just 2 firefighters.
And for Duxbury, are all the firefighters that work for Duxbury Fire Department also paramedics?
Not all. We have 2 EMTs. Okay. Yeah.
Now, I'm sorry?
The rest are medics.
And when you say medics, you're talking about paramedics?
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's okay. So directing your attention to January 24th, 2023, were you working that day?
Yes.
And what shift were you working?
My own shift, my group, shift 1.
And what is shift 1?
It's just, we have 4 shifts, and I'm just group 1, shift 1.
Is there a certain time that spans? Time of day?
No, 24-hour shifts, 8 o'clock in the morning to 8 o'clock the next morning.
Okay, so you were working 8 o'clock in the morning on January 24th?
Yes.
And your shift would end 8 o'clock in the morning on January 25th?
Correct.
Okay. And were you working in that capacity as a shift commander on the 24th?
Yes.
Now, do you recall a call coming in shortly after 6 p.m. Dispatching you to 47 Summer Street in Duxbury?
Yes.
And did you respond to that scene?
We did.
And how many vehicles and personnel responded?
My car, the shift commander car, ambulance 1, and engine number 2.
And what was the personnel in each of those vehicles? Not names necessarily, but how many people?
Usually it's 2 in the ambulance, but because of the severity of the call, when it first came in, we put 3 people in the ambulance, a driver plus 2 medics in the ambulance, and then 2 firefighter medics in the engine from the other station.
Okay, so that would be 6 people in total?
6 total.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you have anyone from the second station respond initially?
We all came at the same time. We all got dispatched at the same time.
So would that have been 6 people total from both stations or 6 people from the central station?
6 people total from both.
And when you arrived on scene, what did you see upon arrival?
There's a couple of police cruisers that were there already, just beat us in. And then we had to go up back to where the patient was located.
And when you refer to the patient that was out back, was that Lindsay Clancy?
Yes.
And did you head to the backyard?
Yes.
And did you see her on the ground?
I did.
And were you personally treating her, or was it the other paramedics that
The
were
other
doing?
paramedics were treating her.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what were you doing?
Just supervising the call, just make sure things are handled appropriately as a shift commander.
Showing you what's been marked as Exhibit 37. Do you see the area where you were in the backyard that night on the screen?
Yes.
If you wouldn't mind standing up and just pointing where you were.
The patient was approximately right here. I was over here in this area here.
And if the record reflects, you pointed to the patient being to the right of the metal window well, and you were standing to the left of the window well, is that correct?
Yeah, she was right below this window, so someplace she was right in this area.
Okay.
And I was just with the front door.
And when you said right below this window, you're pointing to the far right second story window?
Yep.
Yes.
Thank you.
At some point in time while you were standing there, did you hear a loud noise?
I heard a scream.
Okay. And when you heard the scream, could you tell where it was coming from?
It sounded like it was coming from the basement.
And did you look anywhere in particular?
Yeah, I was able to look through the basement window and able to see a male person downstairs.
And when you say the basement window, are you referring to that first
Yes.
metal?
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
that was in exhibit 37. Just showing you again on the screen here. What's been marked as exhibit 50. This window here on the right, does that fairly represent the window that you looked through and could see down into that
Yes.
basement office?
Yeah.
And was the light on in the basement office when you looked in?
The light was on, yes.
And what did you see when you looked in the window?
After I heard the scream, I saw a older male gentleman, now knowing it was Patrick Clancy, unwrapping something from a child's head.
And when you saw the male unwrapping something, can you demonstrate the motion that they were doing?
Yeah, the child was on the ground. The head was towards the window, so the head was towards the back of the house, and he picked the child up, and he was in a circular motion, taking something off the head, around the neck.
And could you see the child's face?
Yes.
And what observations did you make of the child's face?
The head was blue.
And did you later learn that child was Dawson Clancy?
Yes.
At that point, what did you do?
Because of the severity of Miss Clancy on the ground, and now we have another patient, I put a all call in, which is a recall of Duxbury personnel, all Duxbury personnel, if they're available, to come back to the town to help out for when I need help on the scene. And they also need help in the town to cover the town while I'm busy at the scene. And I also requested a mutual aid ambulance to respond to the scene.
Because at that time, there was only one ambulance that was responsible.
One ambulance for Miss Clancy, yes. And then I called another, seeing the next patient, I called another ambulance in.
Okay, and what is mutual aid?
Mutual aid is it's a shared system that all the towns use, that if we get busy or busy with calls, we're able to call help in from surrounding towns to give us hand, whether it be fire related or medical related.
Because that's where you only have one ambulance?
We have three.
Three, but you only had one staff that night?
Yes.
Okay, so you call in for an additional ambulance. At some point in time, do you learn that there are two other patients,
Yes.
Cora Clancy and Callan Clancy?
Yes.
At that point in time, do you have to do anything to call in more assistance?
Well, the recall for Duxbury personnel was already put in, so I called two more ambulances at that point.
And the scene that night, discovering another victim, was that a chaotic scene?
It turned very chaotic very quickly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And was it a situation where people would start treating a patient, but then have to move on to something else and someone would take over?
Sort of. I had four, so I had myself as a shift commander. I had an EMT with me, but there's also four paramedics. So the way it ended up working, all the initial paramedics were with Miss Clancy in the beginning. And then when we found the other patients, we left a paramedic with Miss Clancy, a paramedic with Dawson, and then two paramedics were with the two other kids in the other room.
And did someone eventually also have to be with Patrick Clancy?
Eventually, yes. Yeah, but at the time, it was nobody with him in the beginning.
I have nothing further. Thank you.
Okay. All right, Counsel.
Really, Kaylee?
No questions. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Attorney Buckingham.
Your Honor, the Commonwealth would call Lauren Nudd as its next witness, please.
Look at that bow.
All right.
There's another bow. No, that's a clip. Never mind.
Good morning. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you may have introduced to the court and the jury in the matter coming between the Commonwealth and the defendant Flash?
She talks so fast.
All right, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
May I inquire?
Yes, please, Counsel.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Could you please tell the jurors your first and last name?
My first name is Loring, Loring. My last name is Nudd, Nudd.
And do you have a nickname that you go by?
I do.
What's that?
Everybody knows me as Chuck.
Chuck. Do you work, sir?
I do.
What do you do for work?
So I'm a firefighter EMT with the Duxbury Fire Department. I was at that time. I am now retired.
Okay, so when did you retire?
So I retired a year ago.
A year ago? And so how long had you been working with Duxbury Fire before your retirement?
A little over 30 years.
30. And can you explain what your role was as a Duxbury firefighter?
So if I was an EMT, which 80% of our calls are probably that related. So I would assist a paramedic, or I would drive the ambulance, or whatever was necessary at the time. And then we were also did fire suppression, and we were all trained in that and went to the academy and all that.
Okay, and can you tell us what the difference is between an EMT and a paramedic?
So a paramedic requires another year or two of training, and they're able to prescribe meds. I mean, not prescribe meds, excuse me. Give meds that they have according to what they need to do. They can also read the monitor that shows rhythms in the heart and what have you.
Is it fair to say that as an EMT, you're trained in basic life-saving techniques,
Correct.
While a paramedic is advanced life-saving techniques?
Correct.
And so at Duxbury Fire Department, is it also fair to say that each and every firefighter has that dual role of either being an EMT, a paramedic, and a firefighter?
Yes, some are. There might be one EMT, just a basic, where most of them are the medics or but we're all firefighters too.
Okay. And in the town of Duxbury, does the town itself have its own ambulances?
Yes.
In addition to the fire engines?
Yes.
And there's also ladder trucks, correct?
Correct.
Now, when you were working as a Duxbury firefighter, what was the schedule? How did you work your shifts?
So we work 24-hour shifts.
And then how many days on and how many days off?
So we'd have 1 day on, 1 day off, 1 day on, and 5 off.
And a 24-hour shift, when did it start and end?
It was 8 o'clock in the morning to 8 o'clock the next morning.
So if I direct your attention to January 24th of 2023, you were still working for the Duxbury Fire Department then, correct?
Correct.
And were you on a 24-hour shift that day?
I was.
At some point during the day, were you given kind of what your assignment was for that shift?
Yes.
What was your assignment?
So that day, we all kind of float around a little bit, but we had a newer member that had made progress. He was an EMT and then made it to paramedic. So I was kind of what they call the backup guy. So I would do whatever fill-in needed to be done, and I would assist with them if necessary.
Okay. And so were you kind of assigned to the ambulance at the central station as that backup person?
I was.
And the person that you identified was kind of the newer employee. What was his name?
Paramedic Doherty.
And that would be Daniel Doherty?
Daniel Doherty, yeah.
And who was the other Duxbury firefighter that was assigned to the ambulance that shift?
It would have been paramedic Kevin Heath.
So at approximately 6 o'clock or just after 6 p.m., were you advised of a dispatch to a residence in the town of Duxbury?
Yes.
And where was that dispatch going to take you?
So it was going to take us to Summer Street.
And so you and firefighter Heath and firefighter Doherty, you all get in the ambulance?
Correct.
And do you go to 47 Summer Street?
We do.
Who was in the ambulance? Who was
Sorry, guys. Melissa, before you leave, just so you know, I live streamed every single treatment. So you can go back. If you go to my profile and hit subscribe, you can see every single treatment and what that looks like. Sorry, guys.
assigned as kind of the driver and the tech?
So at that time, because we had heard, what kind of call we had an idea what call we were going to. The two medics sat up front and were able to converse while I sat in the back and again was that backup guy, more or less.
Okay. And as far as the nature of the call that you believed you were coming into, is it fair to say that the initial call had to deal with a female that had gone out the window, possibly a suicide?
Yeah, as I remember, it was a second floor fall.
At the time that you were dispatched to that location, did you know that there was any pediatric patients or children involved?
No.
Now, approximately how long did it take to get from the central station to 47 Summer Street, if you recall?
I'm going to say 4 to 5 minutes.
And when you arrived on scene, were there already other emergency personnel on scene?
There were.
Were you the first ambulance on scene?
We were.
How about fire trucks? Were there any other fire trucks from Duxbury?
The fire truck, you could hear it in the background, but it wasn't there yet.
So is it fair to say that there were some Duxbury police cruisers that had arrived just ahead of you?
Correct.
Where did you go with the ambulance when you got to that address of 47 Summer Street?
So as we were pulling up, I could hear the two guys up front say, the cruisers are in the way of the driveway. So I said, okay, you guys take the call, meaning get out of the car and get out of the truck and get started, and I'll take care of the truck.
Okay, and so when you come to the address, are you able to at least pull into the driveway at some point?
Not at that point. because I was in the back, I switched to the driver's seat. And at that time, I saw an officer coming and he was getting ready to move the vehicle that was in our way so that I could back in.
And so were you able to then back the ambulance into the driveway?
I was.
And were there other vehicles that were not emergency personal vehicles in the driveway?
There might have been some of their vehicles, but there might have been, but I don't really. I had enough room to put my vehicle there, and that's all that mattered.
Okay, so when you backed the ambulance in, firefighter Heath and firefighter Doherty, what did they do?
They had already jumped out. They had already jumped out, grabbed the gear, and taken off for the back of the house.
Once you got the ambulance secured in the driveway, what did you do?
So, assuming that they were going to need a stretcher, I started pulling a stretcher out of the back of the ambulance.
And again, you said you backed the ambulance in?
Correct.
As you were pulling the stretcher out of the back of the ambulance, did you observe somebody coming from the house?
Yes.
What did you see?
One of the police officers was carrying a child.
And so what did you do when you saw him carrying the child out of the house?
So at that point, the stretcher was almost out of the vehicle, and I said, over here, and he placed him on the stretcher.
Were you able to make observations of the child as he's being placed on the stretcher?
I was.
What did he look like?
So his face was blue, he had marks around his neck, and his body was pale.
And so once the officer, or first off, was the officer somebody you knew from Duxbury?
Correct. It was Officer Homestead.
Okay. And once the child was placed on the stretcher, what did you do after you made that initial observations of him?
So we rolled it right inside so he could start doing CPR.
Now, as an EMT, what is the first thing you generally do when you're observing a patient or assessing a patient?
So you always look for response and you go for airway.
Okay. And fair to say there's kind of what they call the ABCs.
Correct.
Can you tell the jurors what that means?
So it's airway, breathing, circulation.
Okay. And in this circumstance, were you able to observe the child breathing on his own?
No.
How about, were you able to secure an airway for him?
Not at that time. We were still doing the preliminary.
And how about circulation or pulse or cardiac activity? Were you able to determine any of that upon your initial assessment of him?
At that point, no.
Now, after you are in the back of the ambulance, do other EMTs or other paramedics come and assist you with the child?
Yes. So when the patient was getting rolled in, I also yelled out to my captain, hoping that he was going to hear me, that I needed a medic in my truck because I needed him to know that there was someone in my truck. Okay. And I'm assuming someone heard me, and they then directed a medic to my truck once one appeared.
Okay. And so the medic that came to the truck, was that Keith Nettie?
Yes.
And that was not the original person who went to the scene with you in the ambulance, was it?
Correct.
Okay. And what happened when you had the child in the back of the ambulance? What did you guys do to try to tend to him?
So we were doing CPR, and then there was he wanted to check the monitor. So we got the monitor out.
Okay. And with the monitor, what was the monitor supposed to be looking for?
Heart rhythm.
Okay. And so do you have to kind of hook that up to the patient in order to assess whether there's any activity?
Correct.
And those monitors that you have in your equipment, do they do anything more than just check for heart rate?
The paramedic can then look and see what kind of, not just a heart rate, but a rhythm. And then
if there is not a rhythm, does that machine help you to do anything to try to restart somebody's heart?
With a rhythm, with the rhythm that they gave us, they said, we can disconnect it, because they were concerned they needed the monitor downstairs too, or elsewhere.
And is it fair to say that at that point, you're assisting the paramedic with their assessment and running that equipment and checking the monitor?
No, I'll allow it, but let's kind of move on.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yes.
Are you assisting the paramedic at that point to treat the child in the ambulance? At some point, do you leave the ambulance?
I do.
And where do you go after you leave the ambulance?
I bring the monitor down to the basement.
Are the other paramedics and the other responders still working on the child?
Correct.
And to be
what?
Because my cap is setting new equipment in the basement.
Am I, can you guys hear me okay? Do I sound like I'm coming in and out? Why is it like that?
Were you to make observations of those children?
Not really.
Okay, it must have been the weather
crying.
there.
Okay. And fair to say they were being treated by others.
Correct.
And so once you dropped off that equipment, did you go back outside?
I did.
And what ultimately was your role at the end of this call? What were you asked to do?
I was asked to drive.
Thank you
The-
for letting me know.
Ambulance that responded from Duxbury, that's ambulance number 1?
Correct.
Ambulance 1. Did you drive that ambulance to a hospital?
Correct.
Which hospital was that?
I forget if it was the Jordan or the BI now, but it's the Plymouth Hospital.
Here in Plymouth?
Correct.
And that was with Dawson Clancy in the back, correct?
Correct.
No further questions. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Attorney Reddington?
No questions. Enjoy your retirement.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Maybe there was weather there yesterday that was causing that. I don't know.
Attorney Buckingham?
Thank you. The Commonwealth will call Keith Petty as its next witness, please.
Same objection, Your Honor.
I can understand 1 or 2 paramedics, but this is just.
Good morning. Just also the testimony in the evidence should be to the court. The imager and the matter coming between the Commonwealth and the Commonwealth.
This is a lot. Seems unnecessary
I'll just step, please.
Good morning, sir.
and traumatizing.
All right, counsel.
Thank you. Good morning.
He looks
morning.
nice.
Could you please tell the jurors your first and last name, please?
First name is Keith, last name is Nettie, N-E-T-T-E.
And where do you work, sir?
I work for the Duxbury Fire Department,
How long have you been with the Duxbury Fire Department?
about 17 years.
And currently working for the Duxbury Fire Department, what is your role? What do you do there?
Right now, I'm a captain, shift commander.
And are you a firefighter as well as a trained paramedic?
Yes,
At Duxbury Fire, you all work 24-hour shifts.
correct.
If I draw your attention to January 24th, 2023, do you recall working a 24-hour shift that day?
I was at home.
Okay. And so what was the shift that you were working that week, if you remember?
I believe I worked maybe 2 days prior. I don't really remember.
Okay. So you were on a day off?
Yes, correct.
And how was it that you ended up being involved in the call at 47 Summer Street on January 24th?
We were recalled from via a pager and a text message that there was an incident going on and that we were to respond.
So can you explain to us how that works?
So a tone goes off through dispatch that sends off a pager at our houses that alerts us. Then we also get text messages about the incident and then respond either to the station or to the scene, whichever they request.
As a Duxbury firefighter, are part of your responsibilities to respond to these recalls?
Yes,
Is it a voluntary thing?
yes.
So if you were indisposed or unavailable when a call went out, a tone went out, would you be expected to respond to the scene?
No,
But in this case, on January 24th, just after 6 p.m., you heard that call go out, correct?
correct.
And so then what did you do when you heard the call?
I drove to the scene in my personal truck.
When you got to the scene, what did you see?
I saw police and fire vehicles, and then I walked up the driveway and walked into the back of the ambulance.
Now, when you arrived and saw police, so that was Duxbury Police,
Correct.
and the fire personnel that was on scene, who was on scene, if you remember?
I only saw 2 people on scene initially. That was Kevin Heath and Sergeant Homestead.
Okay. And Sergeant Homestead is Duxbury officer.
Correct.
Now, was there a Duxbury ambulance in the driveway when you pulled up?
Yes.
And before even getting past that ambulance, were you asked to assist?
Yes.
What did you see when you came to the back of that ambulance?
I saw an officer, Sergeant Homestead, and Kevin Heath doing CPR on a child.
Had you seen how the child ended up in the ambulance, or did you come after?
I came after.
Did you then help take over with treating that child in the back of the ambulance?
Yes.
What was your initial observation of the patient? What did he look like?
Hey guys, we have like 150 plus people watching right now. We can definitely raise that if you make sure that you have double tapped your screen and that you are subscribed to this channel. If you could do that, that would help me tremendously and hype this video. Thanks, guys.
Blue, white, non-responsive, not breathing, no pulse.
And this particular patient, did you come to learn him to be the child named Dawson Clancy?
Yes.
And he was approximately 3 years old?
Yes.
What kind of treatment did you and the paramedic Heath offer to Dawson in the back of the ambulance? What did you do?
We tried to start an IV, but then we also started an IO, which is kind of like an IV. Tried intubation, which is an advanced airway, medications, and continued CPR.
So an IV, that's just putting a needle into somebody and trying to pump fluids in medicine, correct?
Correct.
Tell us what an IO is.
An IO is interosseous, which is basically into the bone marrow on the on the lower leg.
So what do you do to try to enter an IO?
Usually we have a drill, but we had a manual one instead.
So what do you do with the manual drill to enter the IO?
You just twist and then it goes into the bone.
And what bone do you attempt to do this in? And were you able to enter that IO into Dawson?
Yes.
What is the purpose of the IO versus the IV?
If the patient has difficult access, which pediatrics do.
And in this circumstance, what kinds of medication were you trying to deliver through the IO to Dawson?
Epinephrine.
What's the purpose of epinephrine?
Basically kind of helps to restart the heart.
And at this point, he had no heart activity?
Correct.
You also mentioned attempts to intubate. Can you tell us what that means?
So intubation is an advanced airway where you put a tube into the airway to secure it to deliver high flow oxygen.
Were you able to intubate Dawson?
Yes, Kevin Heath did.
And what do you do when you enter the tool to intubate?
You go into the mouth and you do a motion of pulling up to see the vocal cords so you can pass the tube through.
And what do you attach to the tube to try to increase breath?
Oxygen and BVM, which is basically you're squeezing a bag.
So BVM would stand for bag valve mask?
Correct.
While you were treating Dawson and doing the airway, intubating him, giving him the medicines, were you able to observe anything about the area of his neck?
Yes.
What did you observe about his neck?
Dark red marks around his neck.
Now, all of this is happening while you are in the back of the ambulance with firefighter Keith, correct?
Correct.
And do you recall another Duxbury officer being present, Dan Doherty?
Yes.
Eventually, was that ambulance then sent to the local hospital?
Yes.
Which hospital did you guys go to?
BI Plymouth.
On the ride to the hospital, did you ever get a pulse for Dawson?
No.
Were you ever able to resume breathing using that method with the bag valve mask?
No.
The efforts to give him the medication, the epinephrine, did it ever do anything to start his heart?
No.
When you arrived at the Beth Israel Hospital emergency department, tell us how you transferred the care of the patient.
We wheeled the stretcher in. We went into the first room, which is trauma 1 and trauma 2. We moved the patient over to their bed and then transferred care.
While you were at the emergency department at Beth Israel, did you see another child from that same home come in?
I did.
And what department brought them in? What fire department?
Marshfield.
Did you do anything to assist Marshfield when they came through the emergency department?
I assisted in compressions when they were getting the child out of the ambulance.
And is that something that is ongoing during when you're trying to transfer care to the emergency staff?
Yes.
Being the father of the children at the emergency department that evening when you were there?
I did.
And you came in to Patrick Clancy?
Correct.
Do any of you guys live in Massachusetts? Were you guys getting like hailstorms yesterday or wind? This is crazy.
Upset. And yeah, just basically visually upset.
Did you do anything yourself to assist him when he was there?
I assisted to get a chair in case he needed to sit down.
And was that before or after?
There's only like an hour, maybe less, left of court from yesterday, and then we will probably get through today's testimony in about an hour or an hour and a half. So I just saw there are like 5 more people that testify. If they're all firefighters or paramedics, this is crazy. This is crazy. I hope you see what's going on here. I think a lot of you are smart enough to see what's going on here, but I've never seen a judge allow this many firefighters and paramedics. Granted, there were more people involved, but they're all saying the same thing. And it, in my honest opinion, it only re-traumatizes an entire workforce. It only traumatizes a jury. And I think that the point is very easily made with just a select few of these people being able to testify. That is my own opinion. I want to know what you guys think in the chat.
After the children had passed, had been declared?
I believe it was after.
Thank you.
All right, Attorney Reddington?
I have no questions. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you, sir. Let me step down. Thank you.
The Commonwealth would call Patrick Dwyer as its next witness.
Same objection for the record.
Okay.
I heard about this guy. And while we are waiting for them to take a stand, please make sure to double tap your screen or just hit the thumbs up and check that you are subscribed. Thank you.
Can you tell us about the testimony of the
All right, good morning, sir.
I agree, Red Hood.
Yes, counsel.
Thank you. Good morning.
Morning.
Could you please tell the jury your first and last name?
Patrick Dwyer,
Can you please spell your last name for the record?
D-W-Y-E-R.
And how are you employed, sir?
I'm a firefighter paramedic at the Duxbury Fire Department.
And in what capacity are you a firefighter or paramedic? Do you have any supervisory roles?
No, I'm not a supervisor at the department.
Now, in your role as a firefighter and a paramedic, did you receive training for those roles?
Yes.
And how long have you worked for the Duxbury Fire Department?
It's in my 8th year right now.
I'm going to draw your attention to January 24th of 2023. Do you recall working that day?
Yes.
Were you on a 24-hour shift?
Yes.
And so that would be an 8 a.m. to 8 a.m., correct?
Correct.
At approximately 6 o'clock or just after 6 p.m., were you dispatched to 47 Summer Street?
Yes.
What was your assignment that day on shift?
I was working on the engine out of our Station 2
Where is Station 2 located in the town of Duxbury?
on Franklin Street.
When the dispatch came into 47 Summer Street, do you know approximately how long it took you to get from Station 2 to the location?
A few minutes.
Who was working with you at Station 2 that day?
Jennifer Stratton.
What were each of your designated roles?
I believe Jen was driving the engine and I was in the officer's seat.
Now, at Station 2 in Duxbury, is it normal for just two of you to be on shift at that station at any given time?
Yes, correct.
And fair to say there are other firefighters and paramedics that are on staff at the central station, correct?
Correct.
And in this dispatch, you at Station 2 on the engine were dispatched to 47 Summer Street, correct?
That's correct.
When you received the dispatch, did you have any information that there had been children involved?
No, we did not.
When you got to the scene, what did you see?
When we got there, it was dark out. We started walking towards the house, and the other firefighters were there before us. Then we were directed to go to the basement.
Before going to the basement, were you directed towards the outside of the house and then redirected to the basement?
We were walking towards the backyard, so I believe that's where the first person was located. So we were kind of making our way back there.
So I'm just going to show you what's been previously marked as exhibit number 34. Can you see it on the screen next to you?
Yes.
And so would this be 47 Summer Street?
Yes.
And fair to say you were on your way to the backyard on the left side when you were redirected?
Yes.
Did you ever make it into the backyard?
We went through the backyard to go into the residence.
But you were directed to the basement to testify?
Yes.
You can take a look at that screen again. I'm going to show you what's been marked as exhibit 38. Can you see over here sliding glass doors?
Yes.
Is that where you entered the house?
Yes.
You indicated that you also went to the basement, correct?
Correct.
When you got into the house and went down into the basement, which side did you go to at the bottom of the stairs, the right or the left?
We went down to the left.
What did you observe when you went down into the basement?
We saw 2 children on the ground and the father sitting on the couch next to them.
So again, just going to show you what's been previously marked as exhibit 95. Is that fair to be the left side?
Yes.
Basement. And exhibit 96. Where did you see the father?
He was sitting on a couch or something in the area. Not sure exactly which one.
Did you also observe the children on the floor?
Yes.
How many children?
2.
What did you do when you observed the children?
We started CPR toward in cardiac arrest.
Okay, and so which child did you work on?
The 5-year-old girl
Okay. Where was she located?
on the floor in that room.
So as far as looking at exhibit number 96, does that depict the area, general area where you saw the 5-year-old child?
Yes.
Where did you treat her? Where did you see her?
Right in that area. I can't remember exactly where it was.
Okay. In this photograph of exhibit number 96, do you see a lot of equipment?
Yes.
And I'm just going to show you exhibit 101 too, with some more equipment. Do you see all that equipment there?
Yes.
Is that equipment that was used to treat the 5-year-old child?
Yes.
Did you learn her name to later be Cora Clancy?
Yes.
While you were assisting or working with Cora, what was Jen Stratton doing, your partner?
She was with the other child.
Do you recall where the other child was in relation to Cora?
They're kind of right next to each other.
So again, showing you exhibit number 96, if you look to the middle of the photograph, there's a red spot on the floor. Is that a fair place where Cora was?
Yes.
And would the other child, the younger infant, was he closer to the couch or the bed area, or was he at a different location in the basement?
Probably more towards this side, I would say, if I can remember.
When you say this side,
Like,
what do you see in the picture to depict where?
probably closer to the cardiac monitor.
Okay, and can you tell us which is the cardiac monitor? Is it here at the bottom?
Yes, that piece of equipment right there.
And again, in exhibit 101, can you see the cardiac monitor a little better?
Yes.
Where is it in this photograph?
Right there.
Do you mind just getting up and pointing to it on the screen? So we're talking about this black bag that is sort of off center of the photograph next to a blue bag. Is that fair? Is that?
Sorry, what was the question?
I'm just trying to locate it on the picture for the record. So you pointed to a black bag that's kind of off center in this photograph, correct?
This is a cardiac monitor.
Okay, thank you. When you started to treat Cora, what were your observations of her when you came upon her?
I noticed she kind of looked like she had some burst blood vessels around her eyes.
Did you make any observations of the color of her skin?
That was kind of pale, bluish.
When you approach the patient, what's the first thing that you do to assess them?
I check for breathing, check for a pulse.
Did she have a pulse?
No.
Was she breathing?
No.
And when you're doing those things, are you able to make observations of the area around their face, like their nose and their mouth?
Yes.
In this circumstance with Cora, did you notice anything around her mouth?
Around her mouth? Not that I can recall.
When you are trying to assess her breathing, is there anything you do to try to resuscitate somebody or get them to breathe?
Yes, we would use a bag valve mask to help them breathe.
Did you do that for Cora?
Eventually, when we got the equipment down there, yes.
And were you able to use that device and get her to breathe on her own?
No.
And while you're utilizing that bag valve mask, fair to say you're in close contact and making observations of the patient's face and mouth, correct?
Yes.
And you indicated that you're not sure if you recalled seeing anything around her mouth?
Nothing particularly that I can think of.
Okay, if I may approach.
Yeah.
Just going to show you page 9, and if you could read like 17 through 19 to yourself.
Sorry.
Does that refresh your memory?
Yes.
What did you observe in or around Cora's mouth?
That she did have some blood in her mouth.
Did eventually other emergency staff come down and help you with rendering aid on Cora?
Yes.
And fair to say, one of the things that you do is maintain compressions and CPR.
Yes.
And can you do that by yourself, or do you often have to have somebody help?
No, we usually have multiple people working.
And in this circumstance, with the treatment of Cora, other people came in and helped you with those things?
Yes.
Were you eventually able to prepare her to leave the basement area?
Yes, once we get more first responders down there.
And fair to say there was first responders from other departments that came and helped prepare to bring Cora out of the basement, correct?
Yes.
Do you recall how she left the basement?
We took her out of the basement on a backboard up the bulkhead stairs.
And the firefighters that were assisting putting on the backboard, do you remember where they were from, what town?
Marshfield.
When Cora was placed into an ambulance, do you remember what ambulance she was placed into?
Marshfield ambulance.
Did you continue to help assist them when she was put in the ambulance?
Yes, I went to the hospital with them.
And do you remember who the firefighters were that were from Marshfield that were helping you?
Yes, Andrew Wilkins, Ryan Henry, and Kerry Carver.
And fair to say Andrew and Ryan were in the back of the ambulance with you, correct?
Yes.
And Kerry was driving?
I believe she was in the back also.
Okay. At some point, somebody hopped in the front seat and drove?
Yes.
And when you got to the hospital, which hospital did you transport to?
Beth Israel, Plymouth.
Were efforts continued to be made in that transport from Duxbury to Beth Israel and Plymouth?
Yes.
While inside of the ambulance, did you try to use one of those cardiac machines to shock or defibrillate Cora?
Yes.
Was there any result for that?
We shocked once, but did not regain pulses.
And when you got to the hospital, did you transfer care to the emergency staff at Beth Israel?
Yes.
And did you do anything further on the care and treatment of Cora?
Not once we transferred care, no.
Anything further?
Mr. Reddington?
I have no questions. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you, sir.
Make
Step
sure
down.
to
Thanks.
subscribe, and it's difficult because I don't want to talk over what's going on in court, and then it's difficult because you can only type so much and it leaves out context. So yeah, I even question whether this should have been brought to trial. I really.
I calls Jennifer Stratton.
Today they're at the groomers. That's why it's so quiet. You don't hear snoring.
Same objection.
And I also try to not like take things from before trial, because that's not what the jurors are taking into consideration. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a slippery slope.
Why don't you stop right there, please?
Okay, good morning. All right, I'm going to ask you to keep your voice up so the jury can hear you, okay? Great, thank you. Yeah, Tree Spray.
Thank you. Good morning. Can you please state and spell your name for the record?
Yes, Jennifer Stratton, JENNIFER STRATTON.
And your date of birth?
July 11th, 1986.
Where do you work?
Duxbury Fire Department.
And how long have you been a Duxbury firefighter?
12 years.
Are you also a paramedic?
Yes.
And how long have you been a paramedic?
About 13.
And have you completed all the training and certification required to be a paramedic?
Yes.
I want to direct your attention to January 24th, 2023. Were you working that day?
Yes, I was.
And were you working a 24-hour shift that started at 8 a.m.?
Yes.
And were you part of a crew that was dispatched to 47 Summer Street just after 6 p.m.?
Yes.
And who was with you in that crew?
Firefighter Patrick Dwyer was with me in the engine that night.
And approximately how long did it take you to get from the station you were located at to 47 Summer Street?
Maybe 4 or 5 minutes.
And were you driving?
I was driving that night.
What did you see when you arrived?
Pulled up to the address, saw our ambulance crew. They had arrived just before we did. They were starting to walk to the back of the house.
And did you follow?
Yes.
And what did you see in the backyard?
Came to the backyard, saw firefighter Dan Doherty kneeling next to a person. It was very dark. Ended up being Miss Clancy. That was all we saw for a few seconds.
Say it loud.
And at that point, did you hear something?
We did. Heard a voice yelling for us to get inside of the house, that there was a kid hanging in the basement.
And did you go into the house?
We did.
And what entrance did you go in?
Through the slider doors in the rear.
And did that lead you into the kitchen?
Yes.
And then did you proceed to the basement?
Yes.
When you got down to the basement, down the basement stairs, would it be accurate to state that you can either go right or left?
Yes.
Which direction did you go?
We took a left.
And what did you see when you went left?
We took a left and we saw Callan and Cora face up on the ground.
And when you saw them, what did you do?
I immediately jumped on the radio to ask for 2 additional ambulances, that we needed more help. And Patrick ran to Cora and I went to Callan.
And
we're going to take a poll on the rest of this testimony. Let me get it ready.
Showing you what's been marked as Exhibit 100. Is this the room that you entered?
Yes.
And where was Cora, to your memory?
Cora was just to the left in this picture, and Callan was just to the right.
And when you say just to the left, are you putting over towards the equipment against the wall in the picture?
Yes.
And when you say to the right, are you pointing to the area to the right of the dresser?
Yes.
And showing you Exhibit 98. Is that the area where Callan was found?
Yes.
And close up, Exhibit 99. You see the pajamas there, the stethoscope, and the blue exercise band?
Yes.
Do you recall removing Callan's pajamas to treat him?
I did, yes.
So when you went over to Callan, you remove his clothing. What do you do after that?
I didn't remove his entire onesie right away. Made sure that checked him for a pulse. He did not have one. Immediately started chest compressions on him.
Now, for this is an 8-month-old baby,
Yes.
correct? Is the way you do chest compressions for a baby different than other people, other ages?
Yes, because of the size, you have to scoop your arms around and you compress with your thumbs and
I'll allow it.
So you said you have to put your hands underneath on the back of the child and then use your thumbs to do compressions?
Yes.
And is that what you did for Callan?
Yes.
And what did you do next?
Continued CPR on him until more help and hands started to arrive on scene. We had an off-duty firefighter, Tom Brandt, come in, and he started to assist me. He took over compressions briefly while more help started to arrive.
When Brandt took over chest compressions, what did you do?
At that point, someone had brought down a bag valve mask to help us deliver oxygen to the child, and we started delivering oxygen to the child.
And at some point, did you remove the pajamas completely? Yes. And when you removed the pajamas completely, was that so someone could attempt to get IO access through the baby's legs? And was that successful?
That was not successful, no.
Is that difficult to do with a child that age?
It's a little more difficult. It's a less frequent practice skill. But
were multiple attempts made to get the IV and access into the bone in Callan's leg?
I attempted once, and another provider attempted a second time. I don't remember who that was.
And neither attempt was successful? What did you do next? Sorry, I didn't get it. Oh, what was your answer?
For which
I'm sorry. Was either attempt successful?
No.
What did you do next?
Eventually, Kingston Fire arrived on scene to provide the ambulance for transport for Callan. I don't know how long we were in the basement for, but we did make the decision eventually it was time to get moving to the truck and start going to the hospital.
While you were working on Callan, did you notice any injuries on him?
Yes, he had deep strangulation marks around the entire circumference of his neck.
And throughout the entire time that you're in the basement, are chest compressions being done and you're trying to assist him with breathing?
Yes.
Did he, in the home, ever gain a pulse or the ability to breathe?
No, he did not.
Was he eventually taken to the ambulance?
Yes.
And how was he removed from the basement and brought to the ambulance?
I scooped him up in my arms and carried him outside to the truck.
And did you go with him in that transport to the hospital?
Yes.
And at any point in time, did he regain the ability to breathe or heartbeat during that transport?
No, he did not.
Was care transferred to medical staff at Beth Israel Deaconess Plymouth?
Yes, they were.
Nothing further. Thank you.
Mr. Rankin? Thank you. You may step down. Thank you. Thank you.
Commonwealth calls Robert Costanzo.
Report to side, please.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, IOs, gosh, it's uncomfortable to watch one being placed, but they definitely save lives, that's for sure.
Date of birth, please.
4/24/1985.
Where do you work?
Pembroke Fire Department.
And how long have you been a Pembroke firefighter?
I've been there since 2011.
And are you also a paramedic?
I am.
How long have you been a paramedic?
I've been with Pembroke since 2011, and I started in EMS in 2006.
And have you done all the training and certification required to be a paramedic?
Yes.
I want to direct your attention to January 24th, 2023. Were you working that day?
Yes, I was.
And were you working an overtime shift that day?
Yes,
What was your role on that shift?
I was assigned to the ambulance.
And at some point after 6 p.m. that day, was there a call put out by Duxbury Fire Department for mutual aid?
Yes,
And being members of the Pembroke Fire Department, did you respond to that request for mutual aid?
yes, we did.
Who responded?
It was me and my partner,
Who was your partner?
Dan Smith.
And did you go in an ambulance or some type of engine?
An ambulance.
And did you respond to the area of 47 Summer Street?
Yes, we did.
And approximately how long did it take you to get there?
Between 5 and 8 minutes.
When you arrived, what did you see?
There were multiple pieces of equipment, other ambulances, police cars.
When you arrived, were you directed to the backyard?
Yes.
And did you see a patient there in the backyard?
Yes, we did.
And where was she located?
She was on the ground with a Duxbury firefighter. She was already C-spined on a longboard with a collar. She was unresponsive, but breathing on the ground.
And did you learn her name was Lindsay Clancy?
Yes.
And when you say she was already on a board with a C-spine, what type of equipment are we talking about? And if you could just explain to the jurors.
So it's just a long flat board that we use to secure people when there's possible spinal injury. And she already had the collar on her neck. They had already started treatment prior to our arrival. So they had her all secured to the long backboard with the collar applied.
And did you notice anything about her wrists at that time?
Yes, her wrists were bandaged previously, assuming some kind of injury. There was no active bleeding or anything through the bandage. It was just, but her wrists were bandaged.
Was it white bandaging?
Yes.
And so nothing was seeping through to your eye? Did you see anything on her neck area?
She had some superficial lacerations that we could see around the collar, but we don't typically remove equipment after it's already been placed. So I didn't investigate any further than that. There was no active bleeding that I could see, so we just left it alone.
So there was, even with the collar, there was nothing, no blood flowing out of the collar or pooling around her or anything like that?
Correct.
Was she breathing?
She was.
Was she responsive?
No.
Was she making any noise at all?
She was moaning and groaning, but no words, no verbal response.
Did you bring her to your ambulance?
Yes, we did.
And when you got to the ambulance, what was your role?
I was the tech in charge. So we did as much of an assessment as we could without removing her from the board to look for any further injuries. Other than the injuries that the Duxbury Fire Department had already found, we didn't find any further injuries. And then we continued with treatment, vital signs and such.
When you did the assessment, did you look at her head?
Yes.
Were there any cuts or bumps or dents that you noticed in her head?
Not that we noticed, no.
What about her arms other than the bandaging on her wrists? Were there any cuts, obvious broken bones or injuries to her arms or her hands?
No obvious broken bones or anything, no.
And you said you were the tech. What does that mean?
I was the medic that was in charge. It's one or the other. You're either assisting the medic that's in charge or you're the medic in charge. Okay. So I was the medic in charge.
And was anyone else in the back of the ambulance with you treating Ms. Clancy?
Yes, my partner, Dan Smith.
Who was driving the ambulance, if you recall?
It was our deputy chief, Jim Shea.
And do you recall which hospital you went to?
South Shore Hospital.
While you're, well, let me ask you, how long approximately did it take you to get from 47 Summer Street in Duxbury to South Shore Hospital?
It's typically about, from Pembroke, it would be about 15 minutes, so it would be a little bit longer than that. I'm not sure the exact time, so probably maybe 18 minutes.
Okay. And while you're in that transport, in the back of the ambulance, after you've done this examination of Lindsay Clancy to see if there are any other injuries, what do you do next?
So we would start treatment. So we started putting 2 IVs as a precaution, and any other treatment that was needed. So we noticed that her pupils were constricted and she was unresponsive. So we treated for a potential opioid overdose. We gave 2 milligrams of Narcan and she seemed to become a little bit more agitated, trying to grab, reaching out with her arms, but no verbal communication. She never fully woke up.
And have you given Narcan to individuals in the past in your role as a paramedic?
Yes, I have.
What is the typical reaction when you give a patient Narcan?
It depends on the drug that they took or the amount of drugs that they took, but depending on what they take, their respirations will go up, their pupils will get a little bigger, or sometimes they fully wake up.
We know who they are, who's referred to?
The patient. Yeah.
And you were referring to patients that you've dealt with in the past in your role as a paramedic, is
That's
that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And so they would often wake up when given Narcan?
Yes.
And what type of drugs, based on your training experience, does Narcan work on?
We're trained to use it for opioid overdoses, so heroin, fentanyl,
other drugs like that.
Okay. And does Narcan typically work on benzodiazepine?
We are not trained to use it for anything other than opioids.
Okay. And when you gave Lindsay Clancy the Narcan, she did not wake up, correct?
No.
Did you provide any other care to Lindsay Clancy on the way to the hospital?
Just continued to monitor her vitals and make sure there was no decline.
And once you arrived at the hospital, did you transfer her care to the hospital staff?
Yes, we did.
No other questions?
All right. So you're not trained in Narcan on benzodiazepines, is that correct?
Yeah, we don't give it for benzodiazepines.
And in any event, when you gave Narcan to the body that was laying on the ground, she had already been wrapped up on her wrist, right?
That's correct.
Already been wrapped up, had the thing on the neck to prevent the head from moving, right?
That's correct.
And also it had bandages perhaps on her neck area, I'm not sure.
There were no bandages that I could see because the collar blocks. Yeah, most of it I could see. There are some holes in the collar that we could see some superficial lacerations through,
right.
But there was no active bleeding. Her wrists were already bandaged, so we don't take the bandages off after they're on. Okay. There was no blood.
Good. I asked the questions you can answer, okay? Narcan administered to Lindsay Clancy on the ground, yes?
In the ambulance, but yes.
And there was no reaction. It didn't have any effect on her, right?
She appeared to become a little bit more, she started like reaching and grabbing a little bit more than she was before.
That's consistent as well with a person who's had a head injury, right?
Could be.
Yeah. So in any event, the Narcan that you're trained would be dealing with opioids, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Now, did you know, sir, at all that she suffered a burst fracture of a cervical spine? Did you know that, sir?
No.
T5 through T6, T4, 6, 7, 8, all exploded, fractured. Did you know that?
No.
Did you know that there was hemorrhaging into her body, that she fractured every rib in her body?
No.
It was pretty dark out there, wasn't it?
It was.
Did you obviously administer aid to her, or did you also have like a flashlight on your head? Were you holding a flashlight or what?
She was already packaged. She was already on the longboard and everything. So we picked her up, put her on the stretcher, and moved out of the backyard into the ambulance.
So how long did you handle, if you will, her while she was laying there?
On scene, we were only on scene for, I think it was 7 minutes, I think total on scene from the time that we. Yes.
And it was dark in the backyard, right?
Yes.
There was no exterior lighting, nothing on the house that was lit up like spotlights or anything, right?
That's correct.
No flashlights, right?
No.
And you scrutinized a hole in the thing that goes around the neck when someone has a head injury, especially a cervical injury, thoracic injuries. You scrutinized the hole and noted that there was a superficial wound to the neck.
That's all we could see through the side of the collar.
Who's with you?
Me and my partner.
Was your partner scrutinizing the hole as well?
The hole, I don't know.
You said there's a hole in the thing that goes around the neck.
Yeah, there's holes in the collar that you can see through.
Right, you were scrutinizing. You were looking through it, right?
Yeah.
You told the jury you saw superficial kind of the neck, right? Did your partner look through the hole as well? And you've talked about your testimony with the district attorneys in the past, haven't you?
Yes.
One of the things that they asked you is whether or not it appeared as though the injuries to her neck or wrist were superficial. Isn't that right?
Yes.
And other than looking through the little hole in the thing around her neck in the dark, you didn't see her neck after that was removed, did you?
No.
That's all we have.
Commonwealth redirect.
Sir, after the 7 minutes that you were in the dark backyard, you were then in an ambulance for 18 minutes with the patient, correct?
That's correct.
And there's lighting in the ambulance, correct?
There is.
And during those 18 minutes in the well-lit ambulance, did you ever see blood seeping through the bandages on her wrists?
No.
During those 18 minutes in the well-lit ambulance, did you ever see blood pooling around her neck or flowing from the neck?
No.
Thank you.
All right. Anything further?
No.
Okay. Thank you, sir. You may sit down. Thank you.
People just don't understand mental health until they experience or know someone.
Come on,
love
Daniel
someone
Barty.
that
Same
is going
objection.
through it.
Please testify.
I love that we get so many people from across the pond so that they can share what is normal in their healthcare systems and provide Americans with that glimpse into what life is like over there. Because everyone, and I believe it, I believe that I live in the best country. I love being an American, but we have serious flaws in the way that we handle mental health. In my honest to God opinion, I swear on my life, is just horrific.
She'll leave it to her. Thank you. May I have a seat, sir?
Why don't you start, please?
All right, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
All right.
Thank you. Good morning. Can you please state and spell your name for the record?
Daniel Dougherty, Dougherty.
And your date of birth?
8/27/1986.
Where do you work?
Duxbury Fire Department.
How long have you been with the Duxbury Fire Department?
5.5 years, full time.
Are you also a paramedic?
Yes.
And how long have you been a paramedic?
4 years.
And have you completed all the training and education and certification required to be a paramedic?
Yes.
I want to direct your attention to January 24th, 2023. Were you working that day?
I was.
And were you working a 24-hour shift?
Yes.
What was your role that day on shift?
Firefighter, paramedic.
And sometime after 6 p.m., did you respond to 47 Summer Street in Duxbury?
Yes.
And when you responded, who was with you?
Firefighter Heath was driving and firefighter Nudd was in the back.
And so you're in ambulance 1 at that time?
Mm-hmm.
Said yes?
Yes.
And when you arrive at 47 Summer Street, what do you see?
There was 2 police cruisers either blocking the driveway or near it. So we pulled ahead of it, stopped the truck and got out.
And did you head to get equipment and head to the backyard?
Yes.
And what did you see in the backyard?
We had Officer Hall kind of directing us towards the side of to the side gate. And from there we went around to the back of the house.
And did you see a female on the ground?
We did.
And did you learn that was Lindsay Clancy?
Yes.
Do you recall what she was wearing?
I believe it was jeans and a tank top.
Did she also have socks on?
I believe so.
And did you examine her or assess her once you reached her?
Yes.
And what, if any, injuries did you observe?
She had lacerations to both wrists as well as her neck.
And were those lacerations actively bleeding?
No.
Can you describe the lacerations that you saw on her neck?
There was dried blood, seemed to be somewhat superficial since there was no active bleed.
And what about the cuts on her wrists?
Same.
And would you say same? Are you saying that there was no active bleeding there?
Correct.
Okay. And what, if anything, did you do to treat those wounds?
We bandaged them up. I believe we placed the ABD pad, just a sterile pad on her neck as well.
You said an APD or a sterile pad. Is that just a type of like gauze or something that you put on the wound?
Yes.
Okay. And so you did that, and then you bandaged the wrists, or vice versa?
It was the wrist first, I believe. But we did secure the airway first before bandaging her wrist.
Okay. So when you first arrived, is she breathing on her own?
She was.
Was she responsive?
Somewhat.
What does that mean?
Not totally responsive. Pretty much to painful stimuli.
And what is painful stimuli?
As we were moving her, she somewhat regained consciousness on us.
And painful stimuli, is that when someone reacts physically or verbally to pain?
Yes.
And so you said that you assess her when you first get there. You said you did the airway first, is that right?
Yes.
And how did you go about doing that?
We placed an OPA device to secure her tongue down just to protect her airway.
What's an OPA device?
It's a plastic device that depresses the tongue just to keep the airway open.
Okay, so it's not the tube that goes down.
No.
It's just something that holds the tongue down.
That's correct.
Okay. And after you did that, what was the next step?
We placed a non-rebreather air mask on her and set the oxygen.
So is that just a mask that goes on the face providing oxygen?
Yes.
And then what did you do next?
From there, that's when we heard the scream.
And so did you bandage the neck and the wrist before the breathing, securing the breathing, or after?
That was after.
Okay, so just to be clear, first is securing the tongue down, putting the oxygen mask on, and then you did the bandaging?
That came later, yes.
Later, okay. So was the bandaging before or after you heard the screams?
That was after.
Okay. So when you hear the screaming, what, if anything, do you do?
I looked at Captain Hussey and Firefighter Heath, and we kind of all looked at each other, trying to figure out what was going on.
Okay. And did any of you leave the area after hearing the screaming?
Captain Hussey did. Firefighter Heath went to go get a backboard for the patient.
And did you stay with Lindsay Clancy?
I did.
Okay. And then is it at that point that you do the bandaging, or after you get the backboard?
Kevin was gone for a while, so that's when I started bandaging up her wrists.
Okay. And did he eventually return with the backboard?
He did not.
So you bandage the wrists. What happens next?
I believe it was Officer Hall came to the backyard. He asked if I needed anything. I told him the board, kind of gave him a direction of where in the truck it was. And then he also left to go grab that for me.
And when you say the board, are you referring to the backboard?
Yes.
And did he return with the backboard?
Yes.
And was Miss Clancy loaded onto the backboard?
She was.
And who assisted you with that?
It was Officer Hall, I believe, and our retired deputy.
And is there a process that you follow when...
Now is a good opportunity to address the question on the screen rather. The scream was Patrick. We would have heard it if we had been able to hear the 911 phone call, but we were not privy to that. Also, now is a good opportunity to ask you guys, make sure that you have double tapped your screens to give this a like. Hype if you have the points to do so. And make sure you're subscribed, whether you are on Kick or YouTube. Thanks, guys.
Placing someone onto a board to ensure that that you don't cause further damage?
Yes.
And what is that process?
Just C-spine precautions. So you secure the neck and kind of make sure that it's immobilized as you kind of move the patient.
So what did you do to secure her neck?
We had someone at her neck. I don't remember who it was. Just kind of hold steady that her neck didn't move in the process.
Okay. And then did you follow that protocol, the C-spine protocol, to safely put her onto the backboard?
Yes.
Okay. And at some point was a collar placed around her neck?
I believe so, yes.
And then what happened next?
I believe I got on the radio and asked our captain who was transporting first, because we knew that there was multiple patients at that point.
Okay. And what were you told?
Pembroke was on its way in. They may have just arrived, and she was going with Pembroke.
Okay. And were you part of the team that transported her from the backyard to the Pembroke ambulance?
Yes.
And did you help load her into the Pembroke ambulance?
Yes.
And did you go with them during that transport?
I did not.
After Ms. Clancy was loaded into the ambulance, did it leave?
Yes.
What did you do next?
I went to our ambulance that was in the driveway at that point.
Okay. And was Dawson Clancy in that ambulance?
He was.
And did you ride in the ambulance to the hospital with Dawson Clancy?
I did.
What was your role in that ambulance?
I was operating the bag valve mask for him.
So you're trying to provide oxygen to him through the bag valve mask? Okay. And was his care then transferred to Beth Israel Deaconess Plymouth medical staff?
Yes.
And nothing further?
Katrina Reddington?
You can hype
Tell me again,
videos.
are you an EMT, a paramedic, or
Paramedic.
Paramedic?
Mm-hmm.
And how long do you study for that?
2 years plus.
Would that be full-time studying, or are you working at the same time?
I was working at the same time.
Do you know on that evening what the temperature was outside?
It was cold.
Wicked cold, wasn't it?
30s.
It was lower than that, wasn't it?
I couldn't. I was a
It
couple.
was really cold.
Yeah.
And how long was she laying in the snow and on the ground?
We got the call at 6-ish or whatever time it was. We
And the call
responded.
came because her husband came home from picking up food and found her on the ground, right?
Correct.
So you don't know how long she was laying in the snow on the ground, right?
No.
In the cold?
Correct.
And what's hemostasis? Do you know?
What's that?
What's hemostasis? What does that mean?
Just the coagulation.
And you know what the effect of hypothermia? Let me ask you, what's hypothermia?
It's just the body under temperature of the body.
Under temperature of the body?
Or your body is not at temperature that it should be.
Right, because of the environment, right? Cold, right?
Yes.
Sometimes it can be medically induced, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hypothermia affects the blood flow, doesn't it?
Yes.
In fact, you actually have a thing called therapeutic hypothermia, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if they have to restrict the blood flow to either a heart or a brain or something, that a person can be induced medically to be cold,
yes.
and it would restrict blood flow, right?
Mm-hmm.
So all these questions about whether or not there's blood seeping through the wrist bandages and whether or not there's blood through the holes on the neck brace, you don't know what effect the hypothermia, if any, had on that, would you?
No.
Thank you, sir. That's okay.
Redirect?
Sir, there's typically heat in a hospital, correct?
Usually, yes.
And were you aware that, Ms. Clancy went to South Shore Hospital, correct?
Yes.
And are you aware that the wounds on her wrist did not have to be sutured until the following day?
I didn't get any of that information after.
Were you aware that the wound on her neck never had to be sutured?
Same answer.
Thank you.
Anything further? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Sit down. Thank you.
I'm sure she's sitting there thinking now.
From what
she
post,
wishes
Vincent
she
Cahill?
would've done a better job with that.
You may testify. All right, good morning, sir.
Morning, all right.
Sure.
I agree, Kaylee.
Good afternoon, sir. Can you please state and spell your name for the record?
Sure. My name is Vincent Cahill, Vincent. Last name Cahill, that'll be Cahill.
And your date of birth, please.
11/11/1996.
Where do you work?
I work at the Duxbury Police Department.
How long have you been with the Duxbury Police Department?
About 5.5 years.
I want to direct your attention to January 24th, 2023. Were you working that day?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you on patrol?
Yes.
And directing your attention further to approximately 6:11 p.m., were you dispatched to 47 Summer Street in Duxbury?
Yes, ma'am.
And when you arrived there, how long did it take you to get there approximately?
A couple minutes.
And when you arrived there, what did you see?
When I arrived there, I saw a cruiser in the driveway, as well as an ambulance and a fire captain.
And did you head to the backyard?
Yes.
And did you see a woman on the ground there being cared for?
Yes.
And did you later learn that was Lindsay Clancy?
Yes.
At some point, do you hear or did you hear loud screaming?
Yes.
And as a result of that, did you go inside the home?
Yes.
And did you go to the basement area?
Yes.
And when you went down the basement stairs, did you go to the right or the left?
I initially went to the right, following the father.
So as you're going down the stairs, you say the father, is that Patrick Clancy?
Yes.
Do you see him as you're going down the basement stairs?
Yes.
And where is he coming from and where is he going to?
It's coming from my left, heading to my right.
And what is his demeanor?
He was screaming.
And as you came down the stairs, did he point in a direction?
Yes.
Where did he point to?
To the left side.
And is that where you headed?
Yes.
And when you went to the left, did you see two children on the floor in that area of the basement?
Yes.
And what did you do?
I checked the pulse of the 5-year-old girl and passed that information along. And then when fire came on scene, I then was backing away because fire was going to start taking care of the 5-year-old girl. I then backed into the infant who was on the ground.
So you said that you checked the 5-year-old. Was that Cora Clancy?
Yes.
You checked her for a pulse. Did she have a pulse?
No.
And you said fire came down and started taking over. Was that firefighters from Duxbury Fire Department?
Yes, ma'am.
And you said you started backing up. Is that when you bumped into Callan Clancy?
Yes, ma'am.
And at that point in time, what did you do next?
I checked Callan's pulse.
And did he have a pulse?
No.
Did firefighters take over care of Callan?
Yes.
At that point, did you do something to make it easier for the people to fit in the room and treat the children?
Yes, I moved a large futon or ottoman piece of furniture.
And I'm showing you Exhibit 96, directing your attention to the couch bed and the ottoman on top of it. Were you the one that placed that ottoman on top of the couch bed?
Yes, ma'am.
After that, were you asked to help get some equipment for the children?
Yes.
And did you do that?
Yes.
And did you bring the equipment to the basement?
Yes.
And after that, did you assist with getting Cora to the ambulance?
I assisted with rescue breaths with Cora as well as CPR. I aided with Officer Josephine.
And how were you doing the rescue breaths and the CPR?
I was using a bag valve mask. Myself and Officer Josephine were timing it every couple seconds. It was 15 seconds. I was doing rescue breaths on Cora.
And at some point, she's taken out of the basement into an ambulance, correct?
Yes.
Did you assist with that?
I don't recall.
And at any point, did she regain a pulse or ability to breathe while you were helping to assist her? At some point in time, were you given the task of monitoring who came into the scene and who left the scene throughout the night?
Yes.
And showing you what's entitled Crime Scene Entry and Exit Log. Is this the form that you were in charge of? Just documenting every time someone came to the scene or left the scene.
Yes, ma'am.
Look at the
Can I
chat.
just mark this the next exhibit, please?
Any objection? No. All right, that may be admitted.
Incredible per usual.
I have nothing further. Thank you.
Counsel? No. All right, thank you, sir. Please.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Your Honor, if we may approach side back.
Sure.
Are we done? Yeah. All right. Let's hear what.
I'm going to excuse you until tomorrow morning. All right, and so tomorrow morning, the plan is that we're going to go on this view. And I'll explain.
Okay. Let's catch up today. Nope. I guess we will just have to do this. Nope. Sorry, guys. Hold on. Hold on. 1 moment to go. Day 4. I suppose we can hear what the judge wants to
I
say.
would have taken credit the fact that it's a beautiful day today, but I already told you I couldn't control that. So, but a view. So let me explain kind of what a view is. Give you this very brief instruction in regards to that. Members, the jury, you're about to visit and go by a number of places that you've heard testimony about during the trial. The terminology we use for that, as I've said, is a view. Now, the purpose of the view is to help you better understand the evidence that you've heard and will hear during the trial, and to help you appreciate the location, surroundings about these different areas. All right, now, the view that you're going to take is part of the case. The observations that you make while on a view may be used by you and considered by you in your deliberations in reaching a verdict. So you can consider what you're about to see during the course of the view. The places that we're going to go to in this case, we're going to drive to the CVS that was described. I'm not going to get out, but we're going to see where that is. Then we're going to drive by that restaurant, 3V, I think it's called, in Plymouth. So we're going to drive there. Then we're going to go back to the home, which is at 47 Summer Street. And you'll have an opportunity to go inside the house. You'll go in there with the court officers, the lawyers, myself. And because we've got a large jury here, what we're probably going to do is break it up into maybe 3 groups of 6. All right, so we'll take.
So they went to the CVS, and essentially they took the exact same route that Dad took that night to give the jurors an idea of exactly how long it took for Lindsay to follow through with the unaliving. Don't be mad at me. That is YouTube. That makes me say that. The unaliving of the children, and then the attempted unaliving of herself. If you are new here, welcome. We are starting day 4 of the trial, which is today. And the jurors went on a field trip this morning, like I just explained, and then came to court for a few short witnesses. So this will fly by pretty quickly. And to give you a heads up, puppies are finished at the spa, so it's about to get loud in here in case I go off cam and mute up. So please keep going in the chat. Today is the last day of the month, which for YouTubers, it's our last push. So if you would like to become a member and you've been dragging your feet on doing that, $7 a month, please consider doing that, or gifting a membership. That's always a great way to bring new people in so they can re-up. And yeah, everything else, let me know if you have any questions. I am not looking at the chat right now, obviously. I wanted to get this out before playing, and let me know if there's anything I can answer for you guys. Okay, thanks. Oh, I meant to have my, whoops.
All right, jurors enter.
She's in jail.
This court is now in session. Please be seated.
Your Honor, for the purpose of the record, we return back to the trial of Commonwealth versus Lindsay Clancy. All parties are present, including the defendant and including all 18 jurors.
All right, thank you, Madam Clerk. Members of the jury, we're now going to return, as I told you before, to the Commonwealth's case, and I'll ask the Commonwealth to call their next witness.
The Commonwealth will call Mark Anthony Mafia to the stand.
Oh yeah, I never got a keychain spelling my name, ever.
That keeps.
Come on, come on.
Thank you, sir. You may have a seat.
All right, good morning, sir. All right, Attorney Buckingham, please.
Thank you. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Could you please tell the jury your first and last name, please?
Yes, Mark Anthony Mafio.
And how about spelling your last name for the purpose of the record?
Maffeo.
And where are you employed, sir?
Duxbury Police Department.
How long have you been a police officer?
12 years.
And has your career been with the Duxbury Department, or did you work anywhere else?
I worked in Rockland and Cohasset prior to Duxbury.
So how long have you been at Duxbury Police?
9 years.
9?
Yes.
What's your current rank or assignment at the Duxbury Police Department?
Patrol sergeant.
And I'm going to draw your attention back to January of 2023. What was your assignment then?
Detective.
Were you working on January 24th of 2023?
I was not. I was called into work.
Okay, so who contacted you?
At the time, it was Detective Sergeant Jamali.
And is that the normal course in Duxbury when a larger incident or investigation occurs, that sometimes you'd be called in to work a scene if you're not on shift?
Yes.
And Detective Jamali, where did he tell you to go?
Initially was reported, I believe it was 42 South Summer Street in Duxbury.
And so do you recall if you went to that location?
I did.
When you arrived there, was the scene still active, meaning there were still kind of ambulances and everything on scene?
Yes.
Did you go into the house?
Not at that time, no.
Were you advised when you arrived on scene that one of the parties was being sent to the South Shore Hospital?
Yes.
And so as a result of that information, what did you do?
I was then tasked with going down to South Shore Hospital.
Now, when you went to South Shore Hospital, did you know the party that was going to be transported there?
Yes.
Who was the party that you were going to meet?
I was advised it was one of the homeowners, Lindsay Clancy.
And you later became aware that the home at 47 Summer Street was the home of Patrick and Lindsay Clancy, correct?
That's correct.
And again, you were also later made aware that they had the 3 children.
Correct.
Were you advised of where the 3 children were?
Yes.
And how about the husband? Were you advised of where Patrick Clancy was?
I was.
As far as the people transported to South Shore Hospital, you came to learn that only Lindsay Clancy was sent to that location, correct?
That's correct.
Did you expect somebody else to be arriving there?
Initially, before I had left the residence, it was a little bit of confusion. They thought that the husband was also being transported to South Shore.
And at some point, were you later advised that that ambulance was turned around and sent to Beth Israel in Plymouth?
Correct.
So when you were at the South Shore Hospital, did you have an opportunity to observe Lindsay Clancy?
I did.
In what condition was she when you observed her at South Shore Hospital?
She appeared sedated and unconscious with several lacerations to her arms and neck.
Okay.
I have no objection to the photographs.
May I approach the witness?
You may.
Just going to show you 4 photographs real quick. If you could take a look at those.
Yep.
Do you recognize the individual in these photographs?
I do.
And were you present when these photographs were taken?
I don't recall.
Okay. As far as the condition that the person in these photographs was in, do you recall this to be a fair and accurate representation of what she looked like?
Yes.
I would ask you to note these as the next 4
All right, those may be admitted.
Oh, are these the people that showed up at the hospital? Did I miss that part?
It's 110 through 113. Sir, if I could just draw your attention to the screen beside you. I'm showing you now what's been marked as Exhibit 110. And who was the individual depicted in this photograph?
Lindsay Clancy.
And it's, those are the injuries that you observed that day of her on her neck?
Correct.
And showing you on the screen what's been marked as Exhibit number 111. Again, Lindsay Clancy.
Yes.
And the injuries that you observed on January 24th on her neck?
Correct.
If you need to look away, come back in a few minutes. This is going to be pretty graphic.
And 112, Exhibit 112, in the middle of this photograph with an arm extended, there are some cuts and a cut in the middle. Did you observe those on January 24th as well?
I did.
And finally, Exhibit 113, that would be the other arm. Did you observe those cuts to that arm?
Yes.
Now, in addition to observing her at South Shore Hospital, did you do anything to collect potential evidence that day?
I did.
And what did you do?
I gathered, I believe they had been removed from the hospital staff, clothing, pants, shirt, I believe it was a scarf, and wedding bands.
Okay.
Actually, sorry, I hate to do this. If there is someone in here who has already seen today's testimony and knows if there's going to be any other moments like that I should probably prepare for, please feel free to let me know. I am literally watching this for the first time with you guys.
May I approach again?
You may.
Yeah, that's a pretty Italian last name. But you wouldn't know that unless you're Italian. You have, Jen, are there any other moments that you're aware of that I need to warn people about?
Are these 7 photographs familiar to you? Are the items depicted in these photographs familiar?
Yes.
I move to admit these as the next exhibits, please.
Any objection?
I have no objection to any of the photographs.
They may be admitted.
I'm going to switch AirPods and it's going to pause this for a moment.
It's 117 through 120.
It should be 114, 7. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Reporter.
Now, sir, the items that you then collected, you said that they were provided to you. Who gave them to you?
It was one of the hospital staff.
Okay, and so in examining those, you would agree that those items have been cut off of the individual?
Correct.
And so after taking custody of those particular items, did other law enforcement arrive at South Shore Hospital?
Yes.
And who arrived?
Trooper Lawler from the Mass State Police and Officer Lepard from the Duxbury Police.
And again, you had been at the scene at 47 Summer Street, correct?
Correct.
And then you went to South Shore Hospital. Were other members of the Duxbury Department at the Summer Street address and at other locations during the time you were at the hospital?
I would believe so, but I'm not positive.
And were you aware that the state police had become involved in this case?
Yes.
And
No
based on your
problem,
experience
Dina.
as a Duxbury officer, do you sometimes work in tandem with the state police on certain types of investigations?
We do.
And so when Trooper Lawler arrived at the hospital, did you turn over these items to him?
I did.
Now, in the time that you were at the South Shore Hospital, did you have the opportunity to speak at all with Lindsay Clancy?
No.
In the time that you observed her, was she responsive at all?
No.
Was she in custody at that point?
Oh, wow.
I would say yes.
Well, let me ask you this. As far as when a person is placed in custody, you usually advise them that they are, correct?
I don't hear him saying that he's not sure. His answer was yes.
All right.
So I understand. what the government-
Sustained.
When your department has somebody in custody, is it protocol to have an officer stay with that individual?
Yes.
And in this case, was somebody assigned to stay with Lindsay Clancy?
Yes.
At the time you were at the hospital, was that your role?
Yes.
At some point, did someone else from your department come to keep watch?
Yes.
Who was that person?
I believe it was Officer Lepard. I know Officer Broderick was also assisting. I can't recall if he arrived at the hospital as well.
Okay, but you recall Officer Lepard?
Yes.
And once the scene was secured at South Shore Hospital, did you leave?
I did.
And where did you go?
Back to the address in Duxbury.
And that would be 47 Summer Street, correct? I think you might have said 42 at one point.
You're right. Yep. 47, sorry.
And at the residence at 47 Summer Street, did you assist other Duxbury officers in securing the scene upon the arrival of the crime scene services?
Yes.
Were you present when the Massachusetts State Police Detectives Unit executed a search warrant at 47 Summer Street?
I was.
And was that kind of later that night into the early morning hours of the 25th?
Yes.
I have no further questions. Thank you.
Counsel?
Can I see the exhibits that were just introduced? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Morning.
Morning.
I've got a couple of other photographs that I'd like to, just since you were at the hospital at South Shore, if I could.
Sure.
I don't know, Grandma.
Lindsay's condition was when you went in the hospital and saw her.
I don't recall those being on her leg, but I'm not 100% sure. But other than that, yes.
Other than that, yes.
Correct.
So I would offer that, Your Honor, if I could.
Any objections?
May we approach?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, my husband's family, he always calls himself a pig, a Polish, Italian, German. But his last name is so ethnic that I decided to keep my last name because I hate how people always butcher it. And I was like, you know what? I'm 35. I'm getting married for the first time. I've created a career in politics. I'm not changing my last name. People know me by my name. It just seemed like a waste. I don't want to share it. It's so funny. Like, here, we're about to come back. It's so funny. I don't care if people know everything about me, because I am
That may be admitted.
open. But
Sure, yeah, if you want.
while we are looking at a potential promotion that would require us to leave. And so while that's going on, at least mama's the word.
You at some point had a chance to take a look at her face, I imagine, sir?
Correct.
Is that a fair and accurate depiction?
Yes,
And she was unconscious at that point, was she not?
that's correct.
About this year.
All right, that may be admitted.
And
I love that name.
you said that there was some cuts
Chili.
on her wrist. That's a fair and accurate depiction.
Correct.
Oh, here we go.
And cuts on the neck as well.
Correct.
And the other side, right from the front.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Judge.
All right, those photos may be admitted.
It's LACEY. I go by anything.
Thank you. And I'm just showing you another exhibit. This would have already been introduced into evidence, and this would be Exhibit 112. And this would also depict the area of the wrist. Is that correct?
Correct.
The cut was. Likewise, Exhibit 111 also shows the cuts on the neck. Is that correct?
All right.
Correct.
At least they're showing us the evidence. A lot of places we don't see the photos, It's uncomfortable.
Now, when you went to the house, you were a detective at this point, correct?
Correct.
And obviously, you're working in tandem at this time with the state police. They were also investigating, right?
Correct.
But you were the detective for the town of Duxbury.
One of them, yes.
One of them, okay. And one of the things counsel had asked you about was the clothing that Lindsay was wearing, and it was cut off, right?
Correct.
So I'm just going to show you and ask if this appears to be a fair and accurate rendition of, for example, one of her items of clothing.
Yes.
Okay, well, I don't know that, so I'm just going to make sure it's in, that's all. Does that show that there's blood on that item of clothing?
Not that I see.
Okay. Was there some type of residue of paint or something on the clothing, if you recall?
I don't recall, no.
No. Did you notice on the pants?
Me too.
Any blood on the jeans? Well, if you recall.
I don't recall, no.
How about I guess it would be the top that was worn? You notice any blood on that?
No.
Was there a bra that was cut off, if you recall? Sir?
Yes, there was.
And the
Bra.
blood seeped through the clothing into the bra itself? Is that correct?
Correct.
And that would be obviously from outside the clothing and then into the bra that was being worn, right?
Correct.
What about these, Judge?
Any objection?
They're already in evidence. They've been marked, so I don't see this necessarily marking again. They're the same photographs.
Well, I'll trust the representation there in evidence. I don't want to hold the court. So if they're already in evidence, then that's good
I
enough.
just admitted them through Sergeant Markey.
Because I'm nice.
You do agree that there was certainly blood on the interior and exterior clothing that she was wearing, right?
That's correct.
You'd also agree, sir, that there was blood in the area from the outside of the backyard directly underneath the window. Is that correct? Do you agree with that if you remember looking at it?
That is correct.
This way. The ground, the snow, and the leaves that were underneath. Of course, there were a lot of people walking around, but you could see the blood.
Correct.
Directly underneath the window, right?
The back window.
You notice blood that was on the window sill itself on the second floor, one mark on that window ledge?
Yes.
You also noted blood that at some point had gone onto the two shingles that were in the area underneath that ledge, underneath that window, right?
Correct.
Right off of the blood on the floor, on the ground with the EMT documents.
No objection.
All right, that may be admitted.
Exhibit 126.
Thank you. Now, the state police went and got a search warrant, right?
Correct.
And you were there when they were searching.
Correct.
You guys were helping out. Obviously, it was a group effort to search the house for relevant or material evidence, right?
Correct.
Now, one of the things that was seized were pill bottles. Is that right?
Correct.
You know why they were seized?
I do not.
Did you seize any pill bottles?
I did not.
Were you there when the state police seized the pill bottles?
I was.
Do you recall that the pill bottles were seized from, for example, in the kitchen? You opened up a cabinet and they were right on, a bunch of them lined up on a shelf.
I can't attest to that. I wasn't present for that.
Why don't I ask you this? Where did they get the pill bottles from?
You'd have to ask them. I wasn't there when they seized the bottles.
You weren't there.
I wasn't in that room. We were in multiple rooms at a time.
So I may stand corrected. I'm sorry. If I thought I asked you if you were there when the state police was seizing the bottles, and I thought you said you were.
I was in the house, correct.
In the house, but you weren't there when they were seizing it.
Correct.
How about up in the bedroom? Did you go up in the bedroom?
I did.
Did you observe the blood on the floor?
I did.
You observed when you went in the bedroom, it was very cold, right?
Yes.
Obviously, because the window was open, right?
Correct.
And when you went into the bedroom, you made observations as a detective of certain items such as, does this appear to be a fair, accurate rendition of the floor, blood drops on the floor?
It does.
In the bedroom?
Yes.
Is this a indication of the bed itself, the right side of the bed, additional blood that is located on the floor next to the boots?
Yes.
Does this appear to be the nightstand that was next to the bed?
It does.
And do you see what's on top of the nightstand?
Yes.
What's on top of the nightstand?
There's 2 cups, a knife, it looks like a jar or something, and maybe a clock.
Okay. Also blood drops?
Correct.
This is a additional photograph moving farther down towards the right side of the bed.
Correct.
This is a close-up of the knife that was on the nightstand, as well as the little cup that was there, and something that says deep sleep pillow spray. You see that?
Yep.
That was on that top of the furniture, correct?
Correct.
And this again is an area depicting various items of clothing. It looks like a little headband, a wire, perhaps to charge a phone, and blood on the floor.
Correct.
And this shows the location of the bed. Additional photograph of the blood towards the end of the bed, and also the area of the window, right?
Correct.
Okay. Off of these, Judge.
No, back to that photograph.
Can I see counsel in regards?
All right. What are we objecting to? I, of course, took that moment to check and see if my doctor had emailed me. He did not. Yes, Matthew. You were in here the other day. Okay, let's see how long this break is. Ooh.
So you had nothing to do.
Hold on a second, counsel. Just gonna mark these.
I was just asked if I wanted sushi in case you heard me go, oh, yeah. He's a good troll now. He used to be a bad troll on this channel, but
127 through 135.
So you had nothing to do with the seizure of any of the pill bottles, sir?
Correct.
And you don't have a memory of looking in the cabinet in the kitchen and seeing a number of journals or spiral-bound notebooks and books?
Correct.
Was that pretty much the extent of your involvement with this case that night?
That night, yes.
And you really didn't get involved with any further investigation on this matter as far as seizing evidence, except for what you testified to, right?
We did seize, I located a laptop in the hallway closet.
Okay.
And that was, I believe, seized by the state police as well.
Okay. Anything else you recall? How about, do you remember when you guys were searching or you watched the state police searching, did they open up raw to the nightstand that was next to the bed with a number of pill bottles in it?
Again, I wasn't present when that was taken, so I can't attest to that.
About Apple Watch, you know?
I don't recall.
Attorney Buckingham, can you redirect?
Just briefly.
Sure.
Sir, when you were at the hospital with Lindsay Clancy, with the defendant, were the medical staff in the emergency department actively treating the wounds to her neck and her wrists?
No, they were not.
And when you came back to the home at 47 Summer Street to secure the scene and wait for crime scene services, nobody went into the house that didn't need to be there before crime scene services, correct?
Correct.
In your experience, is that normal?
Yes.
And so were you present when any of the photographs that were shown to you by defense counsel were taken?
I don't believe so.
Okay. So your testimony today about those photos is your best memory of what the scene looked like at that time?
Yes.
And as far as your role in the search warrant execution, fair to say there were quite a number of state police, Duxbury officers, as well as crime scene troopers on scene in the house during that. And each person, did they have their own kind of role in what they were doing?
Correct.
And did you kind of stay to your area?
Yes.
And you indicated that you only found a laptop in the first floor closet, correct?
Correct.
And so any of the other manners in which the rooms were searched, you were not a part of?
Correct.
Thank you. Nothing further.
You didn't have to stay to your area as a detective in the Duxbury Police Department, did you?
Correct.
So you were able to go and assist with the search and go into the different rooms and look for potential evidence, right?
That's correct.
And do you remember approximately how many Duxbury police officers were in or about the house, either outside, on the porch, on the deck, in the house, downstairs, upstairs?
I don't.
Would it be more than 10?
No, I wouldn't say more than 10.
How about state police? You remember how many there were of them?
No.
So all told, when you consider that, the sheriff's department wasn't there too, were they, if you recall?
No,
Okay.
they were
Sometimes
not.
they send them to take pictures.
Yeah.
I don't know if they, okay. Would you agree that there were probably more than 10 officers from state police and Duxbury police that would be doing this investigation?
Correct.
All right. A number of police cruisers, and then you have perhaps, just asking, the yellow tape,
Yes.
crime scene, don't pass it and all of that.
Correct.
Now, if I was, for example, to show up and pull up in my car and get out, and they're not gonna let me wander in the house and look around, are they?
Correct.
I mean, that's just for law enforcement officers only until they clear the scene, right?
Correct.
That's after they execute their search warrants and find whatever evidence is relevant, in their opinion,
Correct.
that they seize, right?
Yes.
Once the scene is clear, then people are able to go back into the home, right?
Right.
And you don't know, I would imagine, when they clear the scene.
Correct.
Thank you, that's all I have.
Anything on that? All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Attorney Buckingham.
Oh, Richard Lepard.
I'm sure other people will understand this. I messaged my doctor about refilling a prescription, and of course, Friday, so hopefully he reads it before the weekend. You're very welcome.
All right, good afternoon, sir.
Afternoon, sir.
All right. Attorney Buckingham, please.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Could you please tell the jurors your first and last name?
Richard Lepard,
And can you spell your last name for the record?
Lippard.
And how are you employed?
I work for the Duxbury Police Department.
And how long have you been a police officer?
6.5 years,
Have
He looks
you
like he's
worked for Duxbury the
17.
entire time, or did you work someplace else?
the entire time.
What's your current assignment at the Duxbury Police?
Patrolman.
Back in January of 2023, were you also on patrol then?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you working the day of January 24th, 2023?
Yes.
At some point while you were on shift that day, were you asked to assist in an ongoing investigation for an incident that occurred at 47 Summer Street in Duxbury?
Yes, I was called back in.
You were called back in?
Yep.
Had you finished your shift?
Yes, ma'am.
And so where were you asked to go?
To the police department.
When you came to the police department, where did they direct you to go as far as the investigation went?
South Shore Hospital in Weymouth.
And so when you arrived at South Shore Hospital, was there already another Duxbury officer there?
Detective Mafia was there.
Okay. And what was the purpose of you going to South Shore Hospital?
To overwatch the person in custody.
Okay. And did you learn who that person was?
Yes.
And fair to say that individual was a woman by the name of Lindsay Clancy, correct?
Yes.
What were your observations of her when you were at South Shore Hospital?
She seemed to be sedated, not speaking or anything on the hospital bed, just laying there.
And excuse me, when you were there, or during the time that you were there, did you ever have any conversation with her?
No.
Did she remain unresponsive during the time that you were there?
Yes.
And were you also there when somebody came in and took some photographs of her?
I do not recall.
Were medical staff tending to her during the time that you were with her?
Yes.
Where in the South Shore Hospital was this? The emergency department or someplace else?
Emergency department.
And shortly after you were there observing her, did the doctors indicate she was going to be transported someplace else?
Yes.
Where was she going to go?
That she was going to be med flighted to the Brigham in Boston.
And other than yourself or other law enforcement and medical staff, did anyone speak with her at the South Shore Hospital?
No.
And when she was transported to the hospital in Boston, did you go along with the transport?
Yes.
Do you remember how she was transported?
It was a med flight helicopter.
So you rode in the helicopter with her?
Yes.
And when you arrived at the Brigham in Boston, where did she go there?
She went to the emergency room.
Did you remain with her during that time period?
Correct.
And was there anyone else with you at the Brigham with her?
Officer Broderick.
And so the two of you what was your role?
Just to overwatch and stay with her.
At any point when you were with her at the Brigham, was she ever awake or responsive?
No, not to my knowledge.
And how long were you at the Brigham with her?
About 15 to 16 hours.
Okay, so fair to say it was over the course of that night into the next morning?
Yes, ma'am.
Over the course of the night into the next morning, do you observe her medical status change?
There was some type of medical code during the nighttime. I'm not sure what it was.
Okay, but you were present in the room when that happened?
Yes, we were outside the room.
Outside?
Yeah.
And the next morning, when your shift concluded, did somebody else from the Duxbury Police Department come and relieve you?
Yes.
During the time that you were there, did anyone besides medical staff or the law enforcement officers that you were with interact with the defendant?
Hi, Candy.
No. Thank you. Nothing further.
I didn't know you were leaving.
Morning.
Morning.
Afternoon.
Yeah, Kevin.
So, a young man working for the town of Duxbury, and you were detailed to the home initially, correct?
No, sir.
You didn't go to the house at all?
No, sir.
Okay, you went directly to South Shore.
Correct.
And when you were at South Shore, your purpose was to, as you say, overwatch. Well, that basically is she was in custody at that point, right?
Correct.
So one of your obligations is to, I guess, guard the unconscious person and make sure what to do what, just to stand there?
Correct.
Okay. And you did in the South Shore Hospital, right?
Yes, sir.
And you made your observations of her, bandaged or whatever, laying in the bed, and she was not conscious, correct?
Correct.
And at some point, the decision was made medically that they were going to have her med flighted to the Boston Hospital, Brigham and Women's, right?
Correct.
And that was by way of the helicopter.
Yes, sir.
You had a helicopter ride into Boston with her, right?
Yes, sir.
You were overwatching her in the helicopter again, right?
Yes, sir.
She still had not gained consciousness at all.
Correct.
She wasn't talking to you or medical staff or anybody, right?
Oh, wow.
Correct.
She was already had the tubes and stuff in her mouth coming out, and she was bandaged up and wrapped up and basically laying down in the gurney in the helicopter, right?
Yes, sir.
So when she gets to Brigham and Women's Hospital, they bring her into the emergency room, right?
Yes.
And that room was loaded with equipment, boxes, wires, tubes, buzzing, beeps, lights, things of that nature, right?
Yes.
Life-saving equipment that was in there, right?
Yes.
Very small room, wasn't it?
Yes.
Kind of hard to maneuver.
All right. Bye, Candy. Have a good
There was
weekend.
enough space for the medical staff to maneuver.
All right. And how many police officers were overwatching the unconscious person while she was in the emergency room at Brigham and Women?
2.
That would be you and the other officer from Duxbury.
Yes, sir.
At what point did the state police officers arrive in the hospital?
I don't recall them coming to the hospital.
Did you ever see state police in the hospital?
Possibly at South Shore Hospital, but not in Boston.
So you're in Brigham and Women's off of the helicopter into the emergency room for a day, is that correct?
Correct. 16 hours.
Did you go back there again after that day?
To South Shore Hospital?
No, Brigham and Women's Hospital.
No.
So you're limited to the time that you were there as to you and your brother officer were there in the room with her, correct?
Yes.
And a number of nurses and doctors, right?
Yes.
Fair to say it was chaos. It was like bedlam in that room, wasn't it?
Yes, very busy.
And you don't remember any other police officers? How about internal police officers from Brigham and Women's Hospital? Do you recall them being there?
There may have been security, but I do not recall.
So is it your testimony that you do not recall any other police being in that room or outside the room when you were there?
Correct.
Now, at some point, police were detailed, if you know, to sit outside the room to guard the door. Is that correct?
Yes.
And what were you guarding against?
Objection.
No, overall.
Anybody coming to visit?
Right, because nobody was allowed to visit, right?
Correct.
And then while you were there in the early morning hours, about 2:24 or something like that, there was, as you said to the jury, a code, right?
Yes.
And again, that kind of amped up the bedlam at that point, didn't it?
Yes, sir.
With people running from all over, and you could hear on the microphone, code blue. with the room being
Oh.
identified, right?
Yes.
And that meant that she was dead or dying, right?
Her heart
Yes.
stopped.
She was chained to the hospital bed too, wasn't she?
I do not recall her being handcuffed.
You don't?
No, sir.
Okay. Do you recall when you left?
The Brigham, sir?
Yes.
The next morning around 10, from what I remember.
Okay. And you were relieved by who?
Officer Daly from the Duxbury Police Department and Officer Johnson from the Duxbury Police Department.
All right. So you've got 2 Duxbury police officers. And they, to your memory, were there any other law enforcement officers?
Not with them, no.
How about on their own? Did you observe other law enforcement officers come in that room or outside the room?
No, sir.
And then that was the end of your shift and you left?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
All right. Counsel, anything further?
No, thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Commonwealth calls Dr. Mark Henowitz.
Okay. We get a doctor now.
Just for the record, Your Honor, I'm just noting, object to this, agreed in circumstances. And
Oh, wow.
Yeah, please. Would you?
It's kind of dead at court today. Definitely a lot less people here than the last couple days. One. Uh-oh. 2. I thought I saw another person. 2 more witnesses.
All right, good afternoon, Doctor.
Afternoon, sir.
Hi, May.
Yes, please.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Could you please state and spell your name for the record?
Mark Joseph Tenarowitz, MarkJoseph
And what is your date of birth, sir?
2/28/69.
What do you do for a living?
I was an emergency
He has
physician.
a
I'm
fun
currently
birthday.
not acting as an emergency physician.
What do you currently do?
I do disability review for the state of Rhode Island.
And so directing your attention back to January of 2023, were you an emergency room physician at that time?
Yes, I was.
And where did you work?
Beth Israel, Plymouth.
And could you briefly describe for the jurors your educational background and the training that you underwent to qualify to be an emergency room physician?
I did my undergraduate education at Trinity College. I did a 1-year post-baccalaureate pre-medical program at Bryn Mawr College. I then got my medical degree from Brown University, and I did my residency in emergency medicine at UMass Memorial in Worcester.
Nice.
And when you finished your education and training, did you work in emergency care after that point up until you
How's it going,
changed
Tom?
positions?
I worked in emergency medicine from 1997 until May of 2025.
And directing your attention to January 24th, 2023, were you working in the evening hours that day?
I was.
And at some point in time, did you treat a child named Dawson Clancy?
Yes.
How did he arrive at the hospital?
He arrived by fire department ambulance.
And when he arrived, were you given a summary of his injuries by emergency personnel?
Yes.
What did you learn at that time?
I was told that he reportedly had been strangled and he was found without a pulse and not breathing.
And what observations did you make of Dawson yourself?
When he arrived, he had a breathing tube in. They had placed a device into the bone of his leg to give him intravenous fluids and medicines. CPR was in progress. He was not breathing on his own and he had no pulse and was not responding.
I hope I never knew
And
that.
after, strike that, did you observe any trauma to his body?
I believe there were some old appearing bruises on his legs and there was some ruptured blood vessels on his face.
And did you observe anything in the area of his neck?
Not that I can recall.
And what did you do to treat Dawson?
We continued CPR. We continued to give him
Holy
IV fluids.
shit.
We gave him
Excuse
doses
me.
of adrenaline to try and restart his heart.
I just had 2 falcons just chasing after each other mid-air go right by my window. I'm so sorry. Excuse my French.
He confirmed that the breathing tube was in the right position. We eventually gave medicines to treat the presumed acid buildup in his blood. We gave him calcium to make sure that his heart would, if it started again, would beat effectively. And that's what we did.
And how did you go about making sure that the breathing apparatus was in place properly?
Basically 4 ways. We detected carbon dioxide in the air coming out of his lungs, which usually just comes from the lungs. I listened and could hear breath sounds. I looked with a video laryngoscope to confirm that the tube was between the vocal cords going into the lungs, and we did an x-ray.
And when you say you were hearing breath sounds, was that him breathing on his own or something else breathing for him?
That was someone breathing for him, squeezing the bag attached to the breathing tube.
And so that the breath sound you heard just confirmed that whoever was squeezing the bag valve mask, the air from that was going into the lungs and then carbon dioxide was coming out.
He was not breathing spontaneously.
Okay. And Are you, while all of this is happening, are you continuing to assess him and his condition?
Yes.
And what were your assessments?
So we would stop periodically every several minutes to very briefly check to see if he was breathing on his own or if he had a pulse. And he was not at any point. At one point, towards the end of the resuscitation, I used an ultrasound to determine if his heart was beating effectively, and there was no evidence of that.
Okay. And based on your training and experience, at some point in time, did you make a determination that your efforts weren't going to be successful?
I did, based on the time from when resuscitative efforts started in the field by the paramedics and the time that we put in, and the fact that despite the best resuscitative efforts we could, the fluids, the medicines, the CPR, breathing for him.
So was he an organ
it did
donor?
not look like his heart would ever start again.
Approximately how long did you and your team work on Dawson?
I believe we worked on Dawson about 40 minutes in addition to what the paramedics had done previously.
At any point in time, did you try to use a defibrillator?
I did not.
And why is that?
He was unfortunately never in a heart rhythm that would have made defibrillation an effective treatment.
So your heart has to be in a certain condition for a defibrillator to even work?
Yes, there are two heart rhythms, basically equivalent of the heart, that if you use a defibrillator, you can restore a rhythm that makes the heart beat effectively. He was never in one of those rhythms.
And at some point in time, did you declare Dawson deceased?
Yes.
Okay. And do you recall when that was?
I believe from my review of the records recently, it was at 1928.
In 1928, would that be 7:28 p.m.?
That's correct.
Thank you, doctor.
No. Can't. Oh, stop. Don't bite.
Afternoon.
Oh, lay down.
You indicated that you observed what appeared to be older bruises to his legs, his lower
Yes.
legs, the like shin area?
Yes.
And you also had an interosseous device, I think, is that what you said?
Yes, he did.
And that would require inserting a needle or something into the actual shin bone area?
Yes, into the tibia.
Thank you, sir. That's all I had.
All right. Anything further?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, doctor.
Thank you.
Please.
I'm going to call Dr. Benjamin Kaufman.
Doctor.
Good afternoon. It's almost like the testimony of the evidence you should be.
I do.
Thank you, sir. You may take a seat.
Watch yourself, please.
All right. Good afternoon, doctor.
Just for the record, Your Honor, I'd like to just note the same objection.
Same ruling.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon. Could you please state and spell your name for the record?
It's Benjamin Kaufman, Benjamin Kaufman.
And your date of birth, sir?
September 10th, 1984.
What do you do for a living?
I'm an emergency medicine doctor.
How long have you been doing that?
About 12 years.
Could you briefly describe for the jurors your educational and training background that qualifies you for that role?
Yeah, I went to Boston University for medical school, and then Kings County for residency training, and then Columbia for fellowship in global emergency medicine.
And where do you currently work?
Beth Israel in Plymouth.
And back in January of 2023, did you work there?
I did.
And specifically on January 24th, 2023, were you working that evening?
I was.
And while you were working that evening, did you treat a patient named Callan Clancy?
Yes, that was my patient.
And do you recall how he arrived at the hospital?
Yes, with the EMS, with CPR ongoing.
And is it typical that when EMS arrive with a patient, they give you kind of a summary or a rundown of the patient's condition?
It is.
And did they give you that rundown on Callan's condition?
They did. He, at the time, his heart had stopped and CPR was ongoing, and he was not breathing. He was receiving breaths via bag valve mass ventilation.
And what did you do in terms of treating Callan?
So as soon as he came in, basically we put in a breathing tube, and we were able to get an IV established. The first thing that we do is give a dose of epinephrine, and in this case, you can look directly at the heart with an ultrasound, and his heart started beating after we were able to give that dose. At that point, we continued compressions, continued giving him breaths through the breathing tube, and Plymouth Hospital does not have pediatrics or the ability to care for that level of pediatric patients. So we're on the phone with Boston Children's Hospital, making preparations basically to get him to the more definitive care.
And about how long into your care of Callan did he regain a heartbeat?
Probably from the time that he got to the ER, maybe like 10 minutes or so, I'm guessing.
At any point in time, did he regain the ability to breathe on his own while he was in your care?
No.
Did you do any examination or testing to determine Callan's brain function?
So at no point did he exhibit any brain function. I'm not like a neurologist, so we are not the definitive person, but in emergency medicine, there's a scale called the Glasgow Coma Scale, which is generally from 3 to 15. There's different variations for pediatrics, but he scored the lowest, which basically is you're in a coma or have no brain response during the entire time that he was in my care.
So on that scale, the 3 to 15, 15, would that be someone who's walking and talking and acting normally?
That's correct.
And a 3, is that someone with no brain function?
That is correct.
And you testified that Callan was at a 3 when you treated him?
At no time during his care did he have any brain function that was evident on my exam.
And at some point in time, was it decided to transfer his care to Boston Children's Hospital?
Yes, we were in contact with him basically immediately, and then he was flown by helicopter to Boston Children's Hospital, and the whole time the ICU doctors were on the phone reviewing the case and making recommendations.
And at any point in time, to your knowledge, from the time he entered the emergency department at Beth Israel Deaconess Plymouth until he arrived at Boston Children's Hospital, was he able to breathe on his own?
No.
Thank you, doctor.
All right, counsel.
I have no questions. Thank you, sir.
We haven't been told that, Kaylee, but that's a very good question about how her mental health is now and if she's like stabilized.
Attorney Buckingham.
Your Honor, the Commonwealth would call Melissa Arcadipane.
I believe this is the final witness of today, I believe. So as a reminder, we will be back on Monday at 8:30 in the morning, Eastern.
Hi, good afternoon. Attorney Buckingham, please.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Could you please tell the jurors your first and last name?
Melissa Arcadipane.
Can you spell your last name for the record?
Arcadipane.
And did you work for South Shore Hospital?
Yes.
And what was your role at South Shore Hospital?
My last role was a supervisor of the specimen processing department in the laboratory.
And do you still work in that role?
No.
Okay. Back in 2023, specifically January, were you in that role?
Yes.
And how long had you worked for, or have you worked for South Shore Hospital over the course of the years?
Over 20 years.
You said that you were the specimen processing supervisor.
Correct.
What are the general responsibilities for that role?
Overseeing the department where all of the specimens from within the hospital and even outside of the hospital will come in through that department to be received, checked, make sure they have orders, make sure they're collected in the correct tube.
And the laboratory at South Shore Hospital is responsible for processing blood samples, urine samples that come from other areas of the hospital, correct?
Correct.
So can you just generally tell us how a blood or urine sample would come from the emergency department at South Shore Hospital to the laboratory?
So in most cases, blood sample or urine will come through a pneumatic tube system from the emergency room. They'll put it in a tube, hit a button, and it will come over to the lab, which is what's across the street. And we would take it out of that canister and process it at that point.
And the specimens that are collected in a place like the emergency department are done by a nurse or technician who takes the samples, puts them in the appropriate vial or tube, and labels them, correct?
Correct.
And so when they come to you through that pneumatic system, what does your laboratory do with the samples?
Well, we check the sample, make sure it's labeled, make sure it's in the correct tube, and then we would process it.
And traditionally, would your laboratory receive several samples, meaning several vials of blood or urine from one patient?
They could, yes.
And as far as the orders for testing, you at the laboratory would only run particular tests that are ordered by a physician, correct?
Correct.
Does that usually consume the whole sample that you receive from the emergency department?
Not always, no.
So would it be a common procedure that samples from a particular patient would be retained in case additional testing needed to be done?
Yes.
And working in the lab as the specimen processing supervisor, are you familiar with what is referred to as a preservation notice?
I am.
What do you know that to be?
So that is a notice that we would receive from a law enforcement agency asking us to hold specific samples for a particular patient.
And what would your laboratory do when you receive a preservation notice for a particular patient?
So the samples would be pulled aside, they would be put in a specimen bag, a copy of that preservation notice gets put in the bag with the samples, and it is put in a separate bin within the specimen refrigerator.
And the specimen refrigerator, is that a place that specimens are stored until they're either used or discarded?
Correct.
And does that preserve the specimen? Meaning
Well, they need to be refrigerated. So, but we separate those specimens that potentially could be needed elsewhere into a separate spot so that they don't get discarded.
Now, were you aware that a preservation notice had been served on South Shore Hospital for the blood and urine of Lindsay Clancy on January 24th, 2023?
I was.
And were those samples of blood and urine collected in the same manner you just described and then put in a separate bin?
Yes.
And on January 31st, 2023, did you have the opportunity to interact with a trooper from the Massachusetts State Police?
I did.
And what was that interaction? Can you describe it to us?
He came with a warrant to collect the specimens.
And so did you collect the specimens that were labeled for Lindsay Clancy?
I did. Somebody had already put them in that bin in a bag, so I just went to the bin, retrieved them, made sure they were hers, and gave them to the officer.
And in fact, you handed over 6 vials of blood and 1 vial of urine to the trooper on that day, correct?
I don't remember the exact samples or sample type that I handed over, but I do know that I gave him samples.
Okay. And as far as your memory, you recall that you double checked the ID label on the items to make sure that they belong to Lindsay Clancy.
Definitely.
Okay. Nothing further. Thank you.
Counsel?
No questions, thank you.
All right, thank you, thank you.
All right. There's no hope.
Your Honor, at this time, the Commonwealth would move to submit the certified medical records from Beth Israel Deaconess in Plymouth for Cora Clancy, Dawson Clancy, and Callan Clancy in one binder.
No objection.
All right, they may be admitted.
Yeah, it's a parent's decision whether or not they want
You could approach sidebar.
Yes.
their child to be an organ donor, followed by the physicians to make sure that, you know, this would be an adequate donor. It's just, that's so difficult. Such a hard thing to talk about. Gets people pretty worked up, but I mean, it's something, it's real life. Sorry it hurt your feelings. It's real life. Like, God forbid your child would ever need said services or organs.
Evidence where we are. We are, if not on schedule, at a schedule. All right, and much of it is because of the work when you're not here. Council's going over some of the exhibits and some of that.
Oh my
That's
God.
part of some of
This poor attorney. Do you see him?
these breaks, at least for you. All right, so I just kind of want to let you know that's what's going on. So I'm going to excuse you. I know it's been a long week anyway. So we're going to take a break till Monday. All right. And on Monday, the schedule anticipation will start about 9, maybe a little bit later than that. But I ask you to be here ready to go at 9. There's some matters I may have to talk to council, so it might give a little bit late start for you on Monday. And then the anticipations will go most of the day. All right. Like I said, we are well on schedule, if not ahead. What I want to remind you now, which you know I'm going to remind you, that you're going to be not here for a couple of days. It's very important. You've heard some of the evidence. You haven't heard all of the evidence. All right. You haven't heard the law that you will apply to this. So you have to keep an open mind. And the best way to do that is don't talk about this with anyone. Don't do any research. Don't watch anything. If something comes on, turn it off. And just like I said, if you're talking to somebody who brings up, blame me. All right. The judge said I am not to talk about it. I'm not to listen to anybody talking about this and shut them down right away. I appreciate all the work that you've put in here so far. I look forward to seeing you on Monday. I hope you have a nice weekend, and we'll see you there. All right, thank you.
Court, all right. Jurors, those in notebooks, please place them on the chairs.
And the greatest thing, when you like donate blood, a lot of hospitals, or like if you go through the American Red Cross, they will send you a form or like a letter in the mail that shows you everywhere that your
Court's in session. Please be seated.
donation.
Anything else we need to address before Monday morning? Counsel?
No, thank you.
All right, so we'll be in recess on this matter until Monday morning at 9 o'clock. We'll resume the trial. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so before you leave, first and foremost, please make sure that you have double tapped your screen to give this a like. You can also hype the video. if you are, that's usually easier. No, you can do it on your phone. Where you see the live chat, there are like some buttons and you can like go like this instead of being in the live chat, and it'll say like hype this video. So that helps. And double check that you are subscribed. I know that this month we had at least 2 or 3 people say that they were accidentally unsubscribed. That happens sometimes, no big deal. We will be back on Monday at probably around 8:30, just to make sure that we give us enough time to debrief and go over things. And a reminder to everyone, next week we shouldn't have any interruptions in terms of me needing to skip a day or anything, because I'm all done with my treatments. So I'm so excited to be back on a consistent schedule with you guys. The only thing that is going to interfere or has the chance to interfere is the hearing for the Tepe trial that I have press credentials for. So, but you guys will be watching that with me, hopefully. I have permission from the court to record and live stream broadcast. So that's going to happen. That'll yet another really sad case, involves 2 people that were just completely caught off guard by a crazy person. And I don't feel bad saying that. He was crazy. Let's look at where we are. You guys, this chat has just been above and beyond incredible. I really can't stress that enough. So I know when we started the stream, we were at 2,555 subscribers. As of right this moment, it says 2,576. So very good job. We had some real growth this week, and kind of like I was saying yesterday, if you caught that stream before I started my treatment, I said that I had watched a program yesterday morning on YouTube about Brian Koberger. Very interesting. If you don't follow Brian Enton, I highly recommend that you subscribe to his channel on YouTube. He facilitated a panel, like just a group conversation consisting of one of the families of the Idaho 4 kids and one of the members that worked for the defense. So one of Brian Koberger's defense's assistants. He focuses on phones and, you know, like knowing where a phone is and geolocating, tracking, whatever, all that stuff. And apparently this guy has fallen out with the defender of Brian Koberger. And so he offered to do a like kind of tell all / give the opportunity to the family to ask questions. And holy crap. Not only did this guy share that Brian Koberger had been in that house several times. Like, just think about that. He had been in that house where the crime took place. Probably just when kids were at school, in class, or out for a weekend night. But there were also other people that he was stalking. And there is a shot in the craziest of crazy situations. You cannot definitively say that there's no way his claims this week about like ineffective counsel are just going to go nowhere. There's no way. It can go through the appeals process. It won't be soon, in my opinion. It'll be in a couple years, but I could see this going a few extra steps, which is wild. This happened to me last night, and I have no idea what's going on, but all of a sudden I feel like I'm having a heart attack. I'm not. Don't worry. I think it's just gas. But this morning it was so bad. I woke up my husband, who was in a dead sleep, and said, "This is emergency. I need your help. I need you to find gas X." It just feels like it's right here, and it's super painful. It's hard to breathe. So give me a second. I was talking about the Idaho four kids from Idaho that were slain by Brian Koberger, irrefutably. I hate these things. Hi, Pops. Do you want to show everyone how pretty you are? You're so beautiful. Yeah. I told them you were an attorney. I told them that you worked for Rudy Giuliani. They asked. She's like, no, I'm too busy. I do not have high blood pressure. Oh, you have no statement at this time? Okay. All right. Well, sorry, the teacup Yorkie cannot come and greet you guys. She looked back at me with her tongue, and I'm like, what? Okay. See, and just chewing that gas X, like, it goes away. So I know that it's gas. It's not a heart problem, but if you've never had this experience, please learn. I hope you are watching. I hope you are listening to the words coming out of my mouth. Keep the chewable gas X's close to you, because you straight up think that you are having a heart attack. It's that painful. And it happened this morning right at 6 a.m. because I looked at my phone and I was like, felt like I couldn't get a breath in. Yeah, what's going on with Brian Koberger is definitely, I mean, I don't have a very professional opinion about it. Mine's just like rage. I guess kind of like Lindsay's situation with the mental health dismissal. Brian Koberger is a literal textbook definition of a psychopath. It is, by the grace of God, he is not out in society anymore. The investigation, the family has no qualms. The families have no problem openly stating that Moscow PD just did not know what they were doing. They shouldn't have even held that case for as long as they did. They should have immediately handed it off to the feds. That was a egotistical decision on someone's behalf. And it is horrific to think what those kids went through, especially, we saw the photo of the house and the blood seeping out the side of the house. And it was a total chance that night that the girls, Maddie and starts with a K. Gonzalez. What was her name? Kaylee. So it was a total chance that they were sleeping in the same bed that night. There was no way that Brian could have known that. And it is believed, based on the defense, the guy that went through his phone and his computers, that he went there for Maddie that night. It wasn't for Kaylee. But Kaylee, Ethan, Xana, they were all just horrible, wrong place, wrong time. I still don't know what to make out of the Dylan situation, that roommate, the other two roommates. Especially the fact that one of them, like, saw him standing in her house and she just shut her door, locked it, and like put the covers over her head and just like pretended that it wasn't happening. I am not one to judge. I don't think that that's my job. And those poor kids, the two remaining roommates, how does she have a normal life? Like, I would think that if I were in that horrific situation, I would just move to another country and change my name. That's my honest to God solution. And I don't think it's running away. I think it's just recovery after extreming, put two words together there, after experiencing the most extreme traumatic experience that a growing brain could ever go through. And the way that her brain worked that night to try to protect itself, her brain tried to convince her, you're not seeing what you're seeing, you're just dreaming, go back to sleep. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy that the brain can do that. But I can also say firsthand, through the ketamine treatments, the brain is the least known organ. And I think in 100 years, people will still be learning things about the brain. Whoever would have thought that there would be a medication that you could take intravenously for 6 treatments and it resets your vagus nerve. And if you need to, write that down now so that you can Google it when I end the stream. The vagus nerve is like kind of the command center for the body. It's recommended, like, it's not recommended. It is completely responsible. Don't bite her, Coco. The vagus nerve is responsible for like gastrointestinal issues, for your pain receptors, for your happy chemicals in your brain, your sad chemicals in your brain. And those ketamine treatments have saved my life. This time around, it wasn't for depression or PTSD. This time around, it was for the pain. For those of you who don't know, I had surgery on my aorta less than 90 days ago, which is why I'm in a lift chair in my bedroom. I normally am in a studio downstairs. But that just goes to show, like, how are we to know how are we to say that that's not what actually happened to the roommate who lived? Because the brain will do anything to protect itself. in my honest opinion. And that's what that is, an opinion. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a neurologist. I'm not anything. I'm just, the brain is an incredible thing. Incredible thing. But where I was going with this is that one of the victim's fathers who did this, this like question answer session with this guy from the defense, he said that true crime has just gotten so out of hand, the genre as a whole, and it has become a gaggle and a pastime. I don't dispute the latter. I think that people take in true crime to escape real life. But at the same time, and it's even written in my description for this channel, I want to do as much good as humanly possible with this channel. And as someone who has professionally served as an advocate, I believe that I have the ability, I have the voice, I have the flexibility to provide this channel in a healthy manner and ask questions that, let's be real, we all want to be asked, but it's not going to be asked because mainstream media needs to put a specific twist out there. And if you don't think that's true, give it 5 years. Oh, shit. Shoot. Sorry. We were talking about, if you're still here, April, about ketamine treatments in the vagus nerve, specifically the vagus nerve, and how it can reset your body. I've gone through 2 treatments of it, and every single time it is completely worked. I should be the spokesperson for that therapy and how positively it has impacted my life. And I also said, I think when I was referring to I'm not a neurologist, I'm not a doctor, I was referring to the fact that the brain will do whatever it takes to protect itself. And it's a remarkable thing that we're just going to keep learning and learning and learning about. So I was apparently born with a very, very, very rare disease that is so not known about. It is the National Rare Disease Organization. It is acknowledged by them, and there are only about 24 doctors in the United States that know how to perform this surgery. But to make a long story short, there is a artery off of the aorta that was being compressed, and that artery supplies the rest of my body with the blood it needs to work. So I was experiencing extreme side effects. I couldn't get out of bed, literally, is not just me being lazy, so tired. I couldn't eat without throwing up. I obviously lost a bunch of weight, and acid reflux, that was a big one. That has gotten significantly better since my surgery. They basically had to make it so that my so it's the artery isn't being compressed. I had a 99% compression. So that's super, I love this. See, if you don't believe me, believe April. Granted, it's just a person on the internet. I do not know. I cannot confirm nor deny that she's an actual neurologist like she says she is, but I have no reason to think she's not. Especially because she spelled the vagus nerve correctly. You know what's interesting? When I am getting yes, it cleared the way. My surgery cleared the way so that my rest of my body can operate normally, but I had to relearn how to digest food, how to eat. Horrific. Horrific. 0 out of 10, do not recommend. It's called MALS, M-A-L-S. And if I wouldn't have gotten my surgery, most of the people like die of a stroke. So I was very transparent about my struggle, and it's true. Troll Steve used to come in here and he was super mean to me. And then one day I was like, I shared with my stream, I was like, this is what's going on. I'm going to have surgery and I'm going to be like out of commission for a while. And Steve became nice. It was on May 13th. I'm just reading through the chat. Is it a small world or a big God? I love that. I'm actually hearting it. Yes, so I know I'm kind of spider webbing all over, and I don't mean to. The topic of true crime, I believe, full-heartedly, I believe it can be consumed in an ethical way. And essentially that is just not losing your moral compass and remaining focused on reporting the facts. Now, do I share my opinions on cases that I'm passionate about? Yes, I'm very passionate about mental health. So this case is very important to me because I know that this case will set precedent for the rest of my life, if not longer, when it comes to unalivings. I'm sorry, YouTube doesn't like me to use the real word. Unalivings that happen due to a mental health breakdown. Here in this case, I think it's indisputably insanity. And it was coming for a long time. There were so many visits, so many medications thrown at it. So many times she called the helpline that you call when you don't want to do something to yourself. And because she didn't have a specific plan in mind, they turned her away. She discharged herself from one of the intake programs because it was her daughter's birthday, and because she went in on like New Year's Eve and sat there for 3.5 days without being seen by a doctor. Like, what are you doing? Please follow me. Please reach out. Here, I'm going to share my Discord. I forgot to share that earlier. And I share it because I think that this community is rapidly growing, and it's a great way to keep the conversation going. Now, do I partake in Discord? Very much no. But if you are a member of my channel, you get your own server, or you get your own channel on my server. The server is like the thing, and then you get your own. Okay, I'm gonna shut up. Here's the Discord. Join my Discord. So there you go. We've been talking about the case that I've been showing, but also Idaho 4, and that was for the sole purpose of talking about true crime as a genre, and me wanting to be very clear with my intentions and what I can do to best report on what I'm seeing in person when I go to trials without giving the appearance of profiting off of tragedy. Because I truly couldn't think of anything worse. And anyone who has been here long enough or has known me knows that that's not what I'm trying to do. Okay, hopefully you guys can hear me now. If you are in the chat and you see a question that you feel confident enough to answer, please feel free to, because especially like when I'm looking at you guys, that means I'm not looking at the chat. And I don't want someone to think that I'm ignoring their questions. I'm just trying to get through a thought without forgetting to get to the point. So yeah, if there's anything that I can do, in your opinion, to still be able to report what I'm seeing, ask questions, and always maintain respect for those, whether it be the victims or the survivors of the victims, please feel free to share what you think could be done, what you think has made true crime into the sensationalized, disrespectful genre that we can sometimes see. Because I'm not going to stop doing what I'm doing. I know that there is a need for people with hearts as big as mine. And there are people that I look up to in this genre. Pretty Lies and Alibis, Gigi. Hands down. Such a good soul. I don't want to, that's who comes to mind first. So I hope that you guys will stick with me through the trials, and it's I've been doing this less than a year. It would be great to see some more growth, but I also recognize that I didn't have like a channel or like a name outside of where I am before starting the channel. So it's not like I had a fan base or a following. A following would be the more correct term. But you guys have been great. And the people from Kick, my other community that I'm a part of, you guys have been great. You guys know, Grandma and Kaylee and everyone who subscribes and follows over there. I love you guys. And I'm very appreciated. Oh my God, Rob. But Rob, I've been texting Rob, but I haven't seen Rob. He better be busy. That's what I'm saying. Well, I think this very well is a great point. Like, this very well could be the case. This is not the case for me. I don't like what I see, and therefore I want to show that it can be something else. And I feel the need, as long as I have the resources, the health, having that surgery was a big deal. Like, I needed to get myself healthy first. I'm still not driving myself. So that all changes in the next month. Once we're at 90 days, I'm going full okay again. I don't care. Yeah, schizo spectrum, it is seen more often than not, in my opinion, to be genetic. So is like bipolar. And these are real people. I mean, these are real people that deal with these issues, and it's not fair to just stigmatize and assume that you know all the things, because nobody knows all the things. We are constantly learning new things about the brain. It's what I said earlier. So as for now, we are done with court for the week. We will be back Monday around 8:30. I will make an event. Let's do a members only stream this weekend. I didn't do any while I was going through my treatment because I was tired all the time. But it's supposed to be a pretty crappy weather weekend, so why not get together? So if you are not a member, please consider joining. Here, I'm going to put it up on the screen. And it goes towards the money goes towards, sorry, I was reading. The money goes towards helping me afford to be able to travel to these things, and the lodging, the gas, the driving, et cetera, et cetera. Wow, that's incredible. That is incredible, Melissa. A lot of people I know have MS. And Alzheimer's is, early onset Alzheimer's is my family's thing. Wow. Okay, guys. Well, before we get too much more down a rabbit hole, become a member so that when we do a stream this weekend, you are well, first and foremost, turn on your notifications. In order to do that, you have to be subscribed. But right next to the subscribe button on YouTube, there's a little bell. You click the bell, and select all instead of personalized. That way you get an alert whenever I go live so that you don't miss one. And then if you're a member, you will be able to attend the members only live stream. So I hope that you guys have a lovely, lovely weekend. If I don't see you until Monday, if that's the case, please remember, be safe, be kind to yourself and others. And I greatly appreciate the community that this is turning into. It's been remarkable. So even throughout the hardest trial I've ever done and most difficult subject material, you guys have just risen above and shown to be great people, creating a fantastic community that makes others want to join as well. So you guys are welcome here. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I will see you guys soon. I'll see you on Monday if I don't see you this weekend on the member stream. Bye.